facial pain, pressure.
Cynthia suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She was fed up.
I was in my primary care physician's office and she was prescribing another course of antibiotics. And I think at that moment, I just thought, this is ridiculous. There has to be some other option.
She set an appointment with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office called balloon sinuplasty.
I was home within a few hours and back to work the next morning. I could breathe so much easier, especially with activity and at night, being able to sleep a lot better. My energy level was increased, being a mom and being able to be more active with my little one. At least to me, that was the most important thing.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections? Set an appointment today with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Call 314-449-8761. 449-8761. That's 449-8761.
Hey guys, Glover here for Harrys.com. You know my love for Harrys.com. It's genuine. It's been around for a long time. They found me years after I found them. I've been using Harrys.com shaving supplies. Sent it to Nick when he went away to Mizzou 5-6 years ago. Sent it to a couple of my buddies for birthday presents and Father's Day and stuff like that. They absolutely love it. Guaranteed to be what you're looking for. It's about half the price of other shaving supplies. They never trick you into a subscription. If you want a subscription, they're happy to do it, but you're never going to find out that you did it when you didn't mean to. For a limited time only, Harry's has a special offer for DGS listeners. Get $5 off a shave set from Harry's with code DGS at Harrys.com. That means you get a starter set that comes with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use DGS at Harrys.com. Join the millions of guys that have already switched. Harrys.com, DGS.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the Radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the Radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
The Annie Frey Show.
This hour brought to you by the Rick and Tracy Ellis Real Estate Team. Heard right here on 97.1, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10. Visit TracyEllis.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on a Saturday, and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
If somebody says to you, and you're running for office, and the person says, give me money or I will humiliate you in public, and you do give that person money or instruct your lawyer to give that person money, that's a campaign donation?
Not if you make it yourself, but if somebody else pays the money in order to influence the outcome of the election, it is technically, perhaps, a violation of the election laws. That's what they try to get Edwards on. It didn't work. They got an acquittal and hung jury, and they never tried him again. But, you know, again, violation of election laws are regarded as kind of jaywalking in the realm of things about elections, and there are so many of them. Every administration violates the election laws. Every candidate violates the election laws when they run for president. Usually they pay a fine, something like that happens. Here they're trying to elevate this into an impeachable offense or a felony against the president. Look, they may name the president as an unindicted co-conspirator. They did that with Nixon. Even back then, I complained about that because naming somebody as an unindicted co-conspirator is very unfair because he has no opportunity to defend himself or herself. And yet that may happen. So this is the beginning of a story that will unravel over time, but it's not nearly as deadly lethal as some have portrayed it as being.
Good afternoon, folks. I have to tell you a quick story here. I have 3 small children. They run around. They make a lot of noise. Sometimes it makes it feel inside your chest like you're going to explode. My dad, their grandpa, always says, calm down.
Yes.
So I'm here to tell everybody, calm down. Calm down. Seriously. Yesterday, I said to Tony and Frank, today'd be a great day for some news to break in the middle of the show and ride us into the sunset, going right into the Dave Glover show. No news broke. And then there was a news dump into the lap of the Dave Glover show. And there was so much information, 3 of the biggest stories of the year so far. And boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest one of the day, sadly, is the Cohen guilty plea that involves the president. That is the biggest story of the day. And the reason why I say it's sad is because they found Molly Tibbetts' body yesterday, and she was murdered. And there are lots of details that are coming out that surround that murder. And if you talk about Molly Tibbetts today, you can't talk about Molly Tibbetts today because it's an important story that needs to be filed. If I stay here and talk to you today about Molly Tibbetts, it's because I don't want to cover anything that has to do with the president. And we're not going to do that today. We're going to talk about both. But I'm going to talk a lot about the president. I'm going to talk a lot about the atmosphere that is out there and how we really got to here. And I'm going to tell you why we all need to take a chill pill and count to 10 and put ourselves in an emotional timeout if that's what is necessary, because we can all just calm down. We don't know any of the details surrounding the guilty plea that involves the president. We don't have any of the information that indicates that there was there's a certainty that he committed a crime. And I'm also here to tell you, it's very possible that he did commit a crime. But just like Alan Dershowitz is saying right there, what we're actually talking about right now is how money got from point A to point B. It is not new information that this president was paying women that he slept with. It's not new information that this president has been unfaithful to his wives. It's not new information that he lived a Playboy status and he had women around him and gave them money in exchange for time spent with them. That's not new information. It's also not really new information that President Trump had money that landed $130,000 and $150,000 that landed with these women. The question that exists, the new piece of information here, is that Cohen said that he was instructed to do so from the president. That's the big story. That's the big headline. And when you look at the coverage of this, it's very hard to have the distinction of what the actual headline is here. Could this be a big deal for the president? Yes. Could this slow or potentially result in impeachment for this president? Yes, it could. But yesterday, when I started the show at noon, we've been talking about impeachment forever. It's always been on the table. They've always been looking. They've had votes. Maxine Waters' life goal, what she wants for her birthday, like we give a crap that it's her birthday. She wants an impeachment of this president. This isn't new information. They are set out to get something on this president. And if he did, in fact, tell Michael Cohen to make this payment, there are still details that we need to know the answer to find out if it was even illegal in the first place. Does this president have a moral deficiency in his life post-presidency? Yeah. It's not new information, folks. That's not the thing that when you watch the television and you see these talking heads trying to make you feel like a piece of trash for ever supporting this president ever. I will tell you, in 2016, you still had one choice. You had to choose Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. I don't think that anybody's 2016 votes change based on whether the president told Cohen to pay these women, knew that he was doing something under the table, didn't know that he was breaking campaign finance laws when he said it. Whatever the situation is, I don't know that there's many people who change the fact that they did not want a Hillary presidency. But that also doesn't keep us from the reality that if the president did something illegal, he is not allowed to make mistakes as the president of the United States. There will be nothing swept under the rug. In fact, the rug will be removed and the magnifying glass will come out and every single inch will be inspected. And that's not new. We're used to this. Let's be rooted in facts and information and not hysteria. We're going to talk about that, and I'm looking forward to getting your phone calls. Also, very excited. In the next segment here, we're going to welcome Dinesh D'Souza, who we had booked for this show previously. He knows a little bit about campaign finance and jail and pardons. I'm going to ask him about that, and also his Death of a Nation movie that seems to just be a fantastic work. I'm trying to get to it. I got to get to the movie theater.
Me too.
And I've had family that have seen it, and they're like, "You got to go. You got to go." I'm like, "You want to babysit?"
Right.
I want to go.
Want to watch the kids?
So we're going to talk to Dinesh D'Souza coming up next. Tony, you have a Molly Tibbetts bit, correct? We're going to talk about both today. And if I'm talking about Molly Tibbetts, it's not because I'm hiding from what happened with President Trump. That's what I said first on the show.
Just a little bit more information, because this story has been put on the back burner by many because of everything happening with Michael Cohen and Manafort and the president. Probably heard the initial reports that the suspect that is suspected of murdering Molly Tibbetts was an illegal alien. There's some more details on him and his situation. His name is Christian Rivera. He's 24. He's from Mexico. He was in the United States illegally. He was employed at Yarby Farms, which is right in that same area. Yarby Farms confirmed yesterday that Rivera worked at the farm for 4 years and said Rivera passed the federal E-Verify check, which is very interesting. E-Verify is intended to maintain a database of I-9 forms and tax records, and it's a quick, easy way that employers can check the legal status of a potential employee. One of the owners of the farm said that all the documents regarding Rivera's employment has been turned over to the authorities, but a former ICE director, Thomas Homan, was on Fox and Friends this morning and said E-Verify has prevented a lot of illegal aliens from getting jobs. It's the best system out there. He said that it is possible to beat the system, but only in rare circumstances. And he says, I would be interested to know is, did they really run this person through E-Verify and what failed? So this former acting director of ICE seems to be a little bit skeptical about whether or not this guy actually really did pass the E-Verify system. So there's going to be more. There's more investigation. There's more to find out of how this guy passed systems, how he was employed, how he was in the area. But yeah, interesting stuff. And I've talked about many times how I've been 3 times a victim of identity theft, and it's been this exact thing. I've never had any money stolen from me, but I've had my Social Security number stolen for the purpose of going into a database so people
getting a work permit.
Yeah, so people can get jobs. Using my Social Security number and my identity. So maybe that is why he passed E-Verify.
Well, we're gonna talk more about this throughout the course of the show as well, and get people's thoughts on this. And so stay tuned for that. Any updates that come across, there's possible that news could be happening anytime today on all these fronts. So make sure you stay tuned. Frank, what do you got?
You remember her, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
I know
Gretchen.
the answer. I know the answer to that question.
Gretchen Wilson, Pocahontas native.
Yes.
She's in trouble.
Pokey. She's always in trouble.
She's in trouble.
She makes
'cause
money
she's a
off of
redneck
being in
woman.
trouble.
Well, state police in Connecticut arrested her at Bradley International Airport on Tuesday. Apparently, she was on the flight and she got up to use the restroom. The country star started knocking on the restroom door because the person inside was taking a while, as you're wont to do. The passenger then said the bathroom door swung open, nearly hitting Wilson. He said the 2 women exchanged some words, but it wasn't overly aggressive. The other woman apparently complained to the flight attendants about Wilson, and Wilson was treated with a Band-Aid on the flight. She was interviewed after she was pulled off the plane, after they landed, and authorities said she started to become belligerent. She was arrested and charged with breach of peace on a flight. She's the redneck woman.
She is the redneck woman.
She has a concert Wednesday night that she's scheduled to be at.
And now everyone's going to know about it and go, oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I like Gretchen Wilson.
You're supposed to be I mean, you're a redneck woman. You're supposed to be fighting on the
Come on.
airplane,
Fighting
right?
on a
Darn
plane.
right. I hope
I
she
ain't
was
never
drinking
been the
whiskey
Barbie
before
doll
she did that.
type.
I wonder if the words.
That's
I
in-
wonder
that's
if
in the
when they
line.
exchanged words,
Victoria's
that was
Secret.
one of them.
You're a redneck woman. You're darn right.
Uh-huh.
Proud of
Absolutely
it.
right. All right, Katie, what do you got?
So Tony and I discussed this a little bit today. Michael Cohen's attorney, Lanny Davis, was booed by a live studio audience on Megyn Kelly's program after asking viewers.
Megyn Kelly still has a program?
Right.
The news. This
Ugh.
just in.
That's actually the news. That's it.
No
So
kidding.
he asked the viewers to fund his client's GoFundMe page. He said, "Could I just take one opportunity to remind everyone that Michael Cohen has suffered a tragic and difficult experience with his family? He's without resources, and we've set up a website called michaelcohentruth.com that we're hoping that we will get some help from the American people so they continue to tell the truth." And it has $20,000 right now.
People were laughing.
Oh my gosh, hysterically.
As he was almost like he was joking, like they thought he was joking. And that
Like, no,
audience
no,
is
really.
a very liberal-leaning audience,
Yes.
the Today Show audience.
I think it shows a lot, though.
And if
I
they're
mean,
laughing at it.
Yeah, and if they're saying, I don't know if this guy's credible because he just had Trump's back and now you want money so because he doesn't have Trump's back. That's pretty telling.
Yeah, certainly.
That's
all right. So
funny.
you can go fund Cohen because we're going to be funding him. Taxpayer dollars in jail.
Yes.
All right. Sports.
A couple more home runs last night for the Cardinals. Yadier Molina, Marcell Ozuna. They
They're
won
so fun to
5-2 in Los Angeles. They're on top of the NL wild card race right now. The half game over Milwaukee. 2.5 games back of the Cubs in the Central. And the big news today.
There's news today.
Mark your calendar. June 21 to 23 next year. Albert Pujols will be in St. Louis with the Anaheim Angels.
Wow. I got to mark that on my calendar. June 21st. Yeah, that's
21 to 23.
They've been trying to fight to get him back in here for quite some time, and it never really worked out. That's great. Awesome. Yeah, the Cardinals, forget about the wild card. We went first. It's a I feel a little 2011 vibe going on. All right. Well, we're going to
be
talk.
happening, too.
Dinesh D'Souza coming up next. Somebody who understands campaign finance laws now, and also somebody who's got a fantastic movie out. We're going to talk to him coming up next. On Twitter at Annie Frey Show, Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, and the live stream at 971talk.com/Annie.
I got my head shaved by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is.
Traffic reports at your fingertips. Real-time traffic online. Log on to 971talk.com for real-time traffic updates.
Brought to you by Deck and Patio Living. Make your backyard dreams come true. Call 890-2222. Don't get stuck in neutral. Shift your retirement plan into overdrive with your Retirement Highway with Ken Heisey and Steve Muller from the Heisey Advisory Group. Saturday nights at 7 on FM News Talk 97.1.
When your skin looks great, people notice. And when your skin's not looking so great, you're the first to notice. You know where the wrinkles are. You know where it's starting to feel like you're showing some signs of aging. And a lot of times that doesn't make us feel great about ourselves. The cool thing about that is there are things you can do to help your skin look youthful and healthy again. And you got to go see Dr. Amy Miller. Lots of people have gone to Dr. Amy Miller, and she has just made women and men across the St. Louis area so happy with the services that she provides. She's at St. Louis Skin Solutions. The website is stlouisskin.com. And if you're looking at something that's non-invasive, or maybe you're a little intimidated by maybe the chemical peels or the more like the dermal fillers, the Botox type of situation, if you want to do something a little bit less invasive, they have light chemical peels. They have dermal infusion, which I did, which left my skin feeling the best it's ever felt before. LED light therapy, customized relaxing facials, and they have laser hair reduction as well. Go give them a call or look them up online, stlouisskin.com. See Dr. Amy Miller at St. Louis Skin Solutions.
Summertime is the best time for adventure. Time to set the standard, blaze the trail, and go above and beyond. Because nothing beats the luxury and capability of a Land Rover, capable of taking you on a summer adventure you'll never forget. Right now at Land Rover St. Louis, save $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged V8. Your summer adventure awaits at Land Rover St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur, and online at LandRoverSt.Louis.com. MSRP $90,716.
Savage summer continues at Tactical where right meow, we have Oakley tactical gear and Oakley sunglasses.
Are you telling me I never have to go to the mall and deal with some gender-confused millennial when I need a new set of Oakleys?
Never again.
Wow.
I weighed 329 pounds. I was a heart attack waiting to happen. I got Andro 400. It makes me not so hungry. I started noticing more energy. I noticed my belly was starting to shrink up. I started seeing weight come off. 80-some pounds. I went from 330 to 245. For a 56-year-old guy to lose that much weight, it took something, brother. I feel great. I feel like I was when I was 35 years old.
That was Ruben. Now listen to what Josh says about Andro 400.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that stuff really works. It was insane. I've heard the commercials, for a decade. I was like, I'm just going to try it. My pants are, falling off. It really works. I bought suits last year for my new job, and they're falling off of me. It's insane.
Guys, if you want to lose belly fat, gain energy, strength, and muscle, and look and feel years younger, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435. Andro400.com.
I'm not saying Trump did it. I'm just saying this is real. His personal attorney pled guilty to a charge that has to, by nature, involve the president.
Dave Glover, weekdays at 3 on FM News Talk 97.1. This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I think there is something worse than a useful idiot, and that would be a useful idiot under legal siege. And that is what President Donald Trump is this morning.
That's everybody's favorite Mika Brzezinski giving her normal drivel in the wake of this. Probably felt like Christmas morning, Christmas Eve, and Christmas morning for folks
on Morning Joe,
like Mika.
Oh my goodness!
I couldn't do it to myself.
Yeah, it was
in.
tough.
Yeah, this. I'm so excited to bring our guest on the show here, Dinesh D'Souza at Dinesh D'Souza on Twitter and DineshD'Souza.com. Dinesh, it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you very much. Great to be on the show.
So you've got this movie out right now, Death of a Nation, and it's doing wonderfully. And what an interesting day to talk to you about this movie and how we got to here. What are your thoughts today after the news we got yesterday, after all the research that you've done, all the books you've written, and your other movies? I've seen them. They're fantastic. What are you thinking today?
Well, I'm thinking about this business with Cohen and Manafort, and I'm thinking about the strangeness of a society in which we identify the perpetrator and then we go look for a crime. In other words, it's really obvious here that these are not normal cases that came to light that were subsequently prosecuted, but rather you've got this guy, Mueller, and his target is Trump. And the way he does that is he goes after the people around Trump, but not for things that they did with Trump. He goes after them for things that they might have done 11 years ago or 12 years ago. And the idea is that by finding fault there, he then can bludgeon them into submission, into giving testimony that they might not otherwise give. So I think that this is a reflection not of a neutral, impartial, Lady Justice is blind system, but a rather troubling exploitation of the law in order to serve an ideological end.
Yeah, and I have your book, The Big Lie, as an audiobook. It's so great. And the way you set up, the usage of language, words like Nazi, so on and so forth, there is this culture that has been created by the left, mainly the folks in the media, the messengers, where if you get something like, as I started off the show today, what we found out yesterday is that money went from point A to point B, and Cohen said that Trump had something to do with that. All the other details we already knew, but the left is so invested in creating this culture of doubt and being frightened. Are they going to be ultimately successful in their effort to do this?
I certainly hope not. The great weakness of Trump right now is that he does not control his own Justice Department. So the left has been successful in prying away this very powerful agency of the government and sort of co-opting it. And if Trump, quote, interferes, this is with his own executive agency, they'll say he's obstructing justice. So that's a big problem for Trump. It shows you, looking back, that what he should have done on day one is fired Comey and appointed someone other than Jeff Sessions. Now, it was hard to know at that time that Jeff Sessions would become Rip Van Winkle and go to sleep for 2 years after being appointed. But evidently that is what happened. I don't really know why. So, yes, we're witnessing really a kind of a legal coup attempt against Trump. This has been in the making since Trump's election. This latest episode is only the latest installment in that ongoing effort. Ultimately, the left has simply not reconciled themselves to the fact that Trump won a lawful election. And so they're looking for one way or the other. Maybe it's Stormy Daniels, maybe it's Russia collusion, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's obstruction, even if there wasn't an underlying crime. So all of this is going on, and Trump needs to recognize what he's up against.
Yeah, for certain. You know something now about campaign finance laws. You had a little bit of a witch hunt after you as well, and you received a presidential pardon from Donald Trump. What can you tell us about the magnitude of this campaign finance question that Michael Cohen has raised yesterday in your experience?
Well, it shows me that the guys who are going after this, in my own case, for example, they had absolutely no interest in justice. They had absolutely no interest in saying, okay, Dinesh exceeded the campaign finance law by $20,000. Now, let's see what other people who did the same thing got as a penalty. Okay, they typically got community service and a fine. No, their goal was, how can we go after this guy, use all the strong-arm techniques of the law? So they would say to me things like, well, you realize if you don't plead guilty, we are going to throw bank fraud charges on you. And I go, bank fraud? And they go, yeah, because you took money out of your bank. And then they say, and then we're going to put mail fraud charges on you. And I go, mail fraud? They go, yeah, because you put the check in the mail.
Wow.
So what they do is they take the same act and they re-describe it 7 different ways and attach a separate charge to each of those ways. I mean, this is just pure thuggery. I mean, just thugs with badges, standing behind the law, but really manipulating the law in a way to force the guilty to plead guilty, but also the innocent to plead guilty.
Yeah, it's a tragedy. And we talk all the time about the hypocrisy of how we apply the rules here in the country now. And that's something that you have addressed in a lot of your books and your movies. Death of a Nation, Can We Save America a Second Time? What's the center message in this chapter of the fantastic works you've put out?
Well, Death of a Nation looks at 2 themes. One is racism and the other is fascism. And of course, the deep irony is that the very party that promoted slavery and segregation and Jim Crow and racial terrorism and revived the Ku Klux Klan, this is the Democratic Party. This is the party that's standing high and mighty and riding its moral high horse and pointing the finger of racism at Trump and the Republican Party. And similarly with fascism, I document there was a deep kind of mutual admiration society going on in the early 30s between FDR and Mussolini and Hitler. The Nazi papers were praising the New Deal because they said the New Deal is leftist, it's collectivist, it puts the common good above the individual good. That's what we're trying to do right here in National Socialist Germany. So all of these connections, which progressive historians have now swept under the rug, left out of the textbooks. You'll never see it on the History Channel, but there it is, irrefutable history. It's documented. I typically like to write a book to go with the movie because the book typically has all the references and all the footnotes. So I essentially unmask the 2 big issues of fascism and racism and show that the fascist and racist tail really belongs on the Democratic donkey and not on the Republican elephant.
On the spectrum of not having any idea what direction our country is heading, and being very awake in the actions of this media, the progressive movement, their Saul Alinsky style methodology and trying to convince people of something that isn't even there. Are we as an American people waking up? Or are we already awakened? Or do we need to be more aware of what's going on around us?
Well, the great difficulty, I think, is that the large organs of the media, what I call the large megaphones of our culture, and I mean not just the not just the editorial media, but media, and also the so-called journalistic news media. And then also you can add to this Hollywood and Broadway and the music industry and the comedians. I mean, you've just got these huge megaphones of the culture putting out big lies, one on top of the other. Not just fake news, but fake scholarship and fake history. And they're pushing it out there. The problem is that even if somebody knows that they're wrong, you don't have a big enough megaphone to correct it. And so, for example, if blacks and Hispanics, young people, women were to go see my movie, they'd be blown away. But the problem is that the media won't cover it. So CNN, ABC, NBC, even though the movie's been in 1,000 theaters, they pretend it doesn't exist. Why? Because they know it's lethal. It has all this incendiary factual information that they have no way to refute. They don't even know anything about the topic. So they basically go, let's not cover it. And by not covering it, it doesn't become a fact in the world.
The message that the left has, the one that they're so stuck to, it's an uninformed message about what America is really about. It's a very negative message. In the movies of yours that I've seen, you offer a very positive message about what America is, the American dream. How have you lived that American dream?
Well, I've lived it in the same way as so many other legal immigrants who've come to this country. The reason that we came to this country is we believed in the American ideal. We believed in ladders of opportunity. We wanted to dream the American dream. We were ready to assimilate to the values and principles of the culture. We respected the Constitution. That's the kind of immigrant I think that America wants and needs. In fact, that kind of immigrant is going to be as fierce, if not more fierce, a defender of American principles than even a native-born citizen who tends to take America for granted. The Democrats, of course, don't want that kind of immigrant because they see that kind of immigrant as a natural Republican. So what they want is immigrants who go on welfare, immigrants who essentially are dependent on the government, because that way they're able to exploit the vulnerability of the immigrant and say, listen, in exchange for your vote, which costs you nothing, we can give you some tangible things like food stamps and cheese and maybe access to a government-controlled housing. So it might be a miserable life, but at least it's a life in which you have some security, and in exchange for it, you have to agree to vote for us forever.
Yeah, it's just really a backwards way of thinking, and you do such a fantastic job in all of your books and your movies. I'm so excited to get to go see Death of a Nation. I'm looking right now. It's at St. Peter's, Missouri, at the Marcus Mid-Rivers Cine, and then it's also at the Regal in O'Fallon. So people need to go out and check that out. Fantastic stuff as always. Dinesh D'Souza, it's a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. On Twitter at Dinesh D'Souza and also online at DineshD'Souza.com. I mean, when I watched America, the first movie that I don't know if it was the first movie I saw, it might have been the second movie I saw. I just watched it and my mouth was like open the whole time, and I wanted to watch it again and again because there's so much information and it's so riveting that you want to soak it in so that you can make sure you retain as much as you possibly can. So it's great to speak with Dinesh D'Souza here today, especially one day after Michael Cohen comes out and throws that campaign finance crime, pleads guilty, and here you have a man who was pardoned by Donald Trump for crimes that were the same, essentially. So I'd love to hear your feedback on that and also the news of yesterday that bleeds into today. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797, or toll free at 866-455-9797. If you like that interview, tweet out to Dinesh and let him know that you appreciated him coming on the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate when you do that. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies, light winds, lower humidity, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear and cool, 70s for evening plans, 58 for the overnight low. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny and nice. Temperatures again near 80 degrees. Looking for showers and thunderstorms developing Thursday night and into Friday. We got a hot weekend coming up. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Don't think you can afford a new heating and cooling system? You can with 0% financing for 24 to 72 months on select heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com. I was just doing some math on my fingers. It's just over 4 months to Christmas. That's it. It's going to be Christmas before you know it. That's insane. You need to get to the Diamond Shop. They have a stock liquidation sale going on now. If you're looking to get some nice gifts for Christmas, remember, ladies like to have those little boxes with the bow that covers the whole type of box and it's all wrapped up. It's the last thing under the Christmas tree. You can go save 60 to 70% on that gift right now if you go to the Diamond Shop. They have fantastic stuff, and they're getting that stock liquidated to get new things in for the holiday season. Why not get that purchase made now? If you're looking to potentially buy a ring, or if you want to buy a nice watch, maybe you just want to buy something for yourself, this is the time to do it. Go see the folks at the Diamond Shop. Tell them that you heard about them on the Annie Frey Show, and just say, show me what you got. They've got stuff under $50. They have stuff that's, I don't know, the most expensive stuff ever. I don't know. They have beautiful selections, very unique stuff that is created in that jewelry shop, so you're not going to get another piece like that anywhere else. They even have discounts on the exclusive Thomas Farley line. Go check them out online at thediamondshop.net. They are located at Central Avenue in Clayton. Free parking in the back.
Hi, I've got a question about Schnucks Rewards. How do I start?
Oh, it's easy. First, download Schnucks Rewards from your app store and create an account. Then, you're ready to earn points every time you check out.
And when those points add up, I can
redeem them for money off. Oh, yes.
Nice. What else does it do?
You can search for items, refill prescriptions, check the weekly ad.
Okay, stop right there. That's all I can take.
Shop, earn, redeem. Download Schnucks Rewards from your app store.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Law Office of Lance Drury here in St. Louis. I'm sure you've seen or heard ads where people owed the IRS thousands of dollars and their tax bills were miraculously reduced to nothing. I'm here to tell you the same companies that run those ads are the ones that routinely force clients to call me when they don't resolve their IRS problems and stop returning calls. Look, the IRS doesn't make it easy to resolve a case. So don't waste precious time and money. Contact me, Lance Drury, today. I'm a local tax attorney and I've helped hundreds resolve their IRS problems quickly and cost efficiently. Schedule a free confidential appointment and let's take control of your situation and protect your legal rights. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an experienced tax attorney. You need me, Lance Drury. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Thursday, we're still asking the same question. Did Michael Cohen ever use Russian salad dressing? Plus Trish Regan and Chris Wallace.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
The Annie Frey Show.
This hour brought to you by the Rick and Tracy Ellis Real Estate Team. Heard right here on 97.1, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10. Visit TracyEllis.com.
Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
Breathe in, breathe out, folks. Inhale, exhale. Repeat. It did not feel good. You didn't feel like your team was doing great yesterday when all this news came out at once. It didn't feel good. It's okay to admit that. This may end terribly. Maybe. But it might not. We don't have information that proves that the president actually committed a crime. And the crime that we're talking about the president actually potentially being involved in is him telling Cohen to pay these women versus him just writing a check and handing it over and be like, here you go away. I mean, that would have been okay. That's what the lawyers that are way smarter than me keep saying. So does that mean that it's not illegal? If would he have done this wittingly or unwittingly? I don't know. We don't know. They don't know. Nobody's talked to the president. The president hasn't spoke to anybody about this issue. Michael Cohen was going to go to jail for 700 years for being a sleaze. Mm-hmm. He was a sleaze. He is a sleaze. He will be a sleaze. And if the president was involved in some of that stuff and it was sleazy, it's not new information. The payment is not new information. The question is how was that money paid? And we know that these folks are going to scrutinize every inch of this story. So everybody just kind of relax a little bit. Don't freak out. And let's wait and see what happens. This is not going to end like Friday. This is the beginning. This is going to go on for a while. And every single time I've been up against, oh my gosh, I do not know how he gets out of this. And it's happened. It's almost monthly. There's something new. And then Donald Trump trumps it. And I don't know how he trumps this. Maybe he didn't do anything illegal. We just don't know. So before we get up in a tizzy about this, don't torture yourself and watch people or watch unhinged pundits who are going to say things that make you want to make a hard right turn when you're driving over the Poplar Street Bridge. So don't torture yourself. Educate yourself. Wait and see what the facts are.
Brian Kilmeade this morning, he was interviewing someone, and now that name has slipped me, but it's someone that is close to Trump. And he said that Trump is the most calm and most focused when things like this happen.
It's good
and it's
cool
unbelievable. Yes, and it's unbelievable to watch.
Yeah. So let's, the spectrum of what can happen here is very broad, and we shall wait. America can withstand this. And pretty soon, these leftists who have been running around with their pitchforks, and maybe they got something this time. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. The second that these crazy lefty progressives, I'm talking about the crazies, not your Thanksgiving dinner table Democrats. These crazies on the left, they're going to say, well, if we impeach the president.
You've never been to my dinner table.
Yeah, maybe I should. If we impeach this president and he goes away, President Mike Pence, crap. This is not an upgrade in the world that they have, in the monster that they've created out of Mike Pence, who seems to be one of the most kind, gentlemanly, charming, caring people I've seen in politics in a long time.
Conservative.
Yes. And we will wait to see what happens. So if you're freaking out right now, calm down. All right? That's my message for you today.
Everybody that says, oh, this is, it's done. The Republicans are done. Nobody's going to vote. You got to remember, when you go in this country, we have two choices, essentially, which I hate, but that's what we have. So even if you think that Donald Trump did do this, are you going to stand there? Are there going to be millions and millions of people that stand there at the voting booth and go, well, Donald Trump may have paid these women off, so now I'm going to vote against my interests in the military and Second Amendment and
it's not happening.
Border control. You're still
the Democratic Party's message right now is socialism.
Yeah, you're not.
This is what they're answering the question with.
You're not going to go, well, now I have to vote for the Democrats because Donald Trump may have paid these women off. That's not how it works.
Yeah, it isn't, exactly. Coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, right off the top, we're going to have John Cass, who writes for the Chicago Tribune, has a great article out today, kind of about the temperature, the mood that exists out there right now, Democrats and the situation that Trump is in. He wrote a great piece in the Chicago Tribune. We'll tweet that out for you, share that with you. So stay tuned for that. But I want to get to some quick phone calls here before we take a quick break. 314-241-9797 if you'd like to join the show. Tim, thanks for calling.
Hey, Amy, I'm going to volunteer my daughter. She worked at a crisis care center for kids, and she just graduated from nursing school, so you can go to the movies if you'd like.
That's great. How long can she work, and what is her wage?
Oh, it's gratis. If she has any complaints about it, I'll just start making her pay rent at home.
Fantastic. Did you see Death of a Nation?
I haven't. I want to go see it because I just got fed up with broadcast television, and I just don't. I listen to 97.1, and that's about where I get my information right now. I tried listening to and watching CNN and MSNBC over the years, and they're just awful. I mean, I tried because I try and get information, but the problem is they don't give factual oratory whatsoever. They're pundits. They're not news people. I don't care what they call. There are people that are pundits on the right.
They have an agenda.
There are news people on the right, and there are editorial people on the right, and there are news people on the right. And the news people give you facts, and the editorial people do have their emotions and their personal whatever involved. But you get both sides, and you know which is which. They try and blur the lines, and it's just. I just can't stand it anymore. So no, I've got to go up out and see the movie.
All right, yeah, Tim, thank you, appreciate it.
Keep the number. Call me. She's really good. 23 years old.
I believe it. I bet your daughter is working at that. You said a crisis nursery.
She was working at a crisis center where we live, and she quit. She's getting ready to take her state boards. Yeah. So she'd be a good one for you.
Wow,
okay?
That's awesome, Tim. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I had my first experience with a dear friend of mine, had a baby last September, and went into the NICU at Children's Hospital. And experiencing that, because I went and sat with her there just to keep her company, and just like the stuff going on around you. And it's a situation that you never want to be in the NICU. You never want to be associated with the NICU. And these people make this decision, these nurses make this decision every day to help these preemies live, or these babies that need this massive special assistance. Anybody who works in a nursery like that, or just nurses in general, I could never do it. And the few times that I've had babies, I've had a couple surgeries, and the nurses are just. They almost make you want to stay.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
They're so fantastic.
And it takes someone with real guts and determination to have a job like that in the medical field.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Charles, real quick, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, thank you. I agree with you from the very beginning. I said just let the investigation go and see where it goes.
Yeah.
With that said, well, Cohen, if he took the money to do something that was going to cover up an illegality, that would be breaking the law.
But there's nothing there's no legal question about. I mean, everything was consensual. There was no illegal activity. The illegal activity would be the cover up or the money paid.
It depends on the intent, and if they can prove the intent, it's illegal. If the company that he used was owned by Trump, and Trump lied when he said he didn't know anything about it, but he did know something about it. So, we'll let the thing go where it goes, but remember, he was on the airplane, said he didn't know a thing about it, then it turns out he did know about it.
Hey,
like
Charles.
So many other lies he tells.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. I appreciate your opinion. I mean, he wasn't under oath when he said those things. Do I want my president lying? No. Is this the first president to be lying? No, not at all. Leon, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, I just got a comment. People better pay attention to what the heck's going on, because if this Gestapo gets back in power, everybody's going to be in trouble.
Well, we saw it. We saw it once already. Thanks for the call, Leon. In the Obama administration, who was the name slips my mind right now? Who's in charge of the IRS? And they were targeting conservative nonprofit organizations and making it so complicated to be in business that people be like, we can't do it. We just can't make this happen. It's too difficult. And so they would not be in business. So we've already seen government overstepping their bounds when it comes to the way that they implement laws. And we've seen it the way they've enforced laws. And we're going to see how this plays out now. I would tell everybody, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when they drag every single detail through the mud. And what you're if you tune into the usual suspects of left-leaning media, they're going to smear this president based on the fact that he was paying women who he wasn't married to. Because the detail here of how the money got from point A to point B, and did President say do this, or did he not say do this, or did he know, whatever, the detail that is in question legally is not a sexy detail. However, paying porn stars and people by the likes of the name Stormy Daniels, that is a sexy conversation to have on the air. And these people do like talking about it. It is red meat for the people who are watching these shows. They want to hear it. They want to see people trash Trump. They want to see people slander Trump. That's what they want, and that's what they're getting. And today is Christmas morning for them. But, you know, the Christmas mood wears off, and then you end up getting down to brass tacks and realizing it's January 1st and you need to make some New Year's resolutions. So we'll wait and see what happens. There's nothing wrong with waiting for the facts. There's nothing wrong with being patient, and let's wait and see. There is not a new attack out here for the president. It's been out there. It's been since the morning when he won, and they called it at 2 a.m. or whatever it was the next day. That's when it started. And they now have the ability to use the messenger of the media. They're doing it in the university system. How many times have hired people say, my son's a raging liberal, my daughter has come back and she's like a crazy feminist, and she didn't go to college that way, but when I got her back, I don't even know how to talk to her. I've heard that from so many people. Because you send them away, and then the big point of the university system right now is to indoctrinate kids. Folks, the college degree is supposed to be to get you a job. Colleges are supposed to be employee factories. They're supposed to be cranking out employees as fast as they possibly can, but the new focus is to crank out liberals. So what do you hear from the leftists? They want to make college free. Well, of course they do. It's a liberal factory. It's supposed to be a job creation factory. Here are people that need to go to work and are ready to do it. We never talk about the cost of college. We only talk about how we can pay for it and make it free. It's backwards. Stay tuned. John Cass from the Chicago Tribune is going to join us and give us the lay of the land of this overly emotional Democrat Party in the wake of this little shaky Trump news. On Twitter, at Annie Frey Show, 971talk.com/Annie for the live stream. We'll be right back.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Never paint again. Seriously, who wants to paint anyways? Rhino Shield would love to paint your home, business, or church for the last time. You know, when it's not raining. Water and sun are the two most damaging villains against your home's defense for chipping, cracking, peeling, and rot. Our permanent ceramic coating locks out 100% of the moisture, 90% of the sun's UV rays, and we back it up with a 25-year transferable warranty. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. See why we are rapidly becoming your neighbor's go-to solution for cracks, splits, nail pops, and just bad color schemes. Now's the time to be smart to save time and money. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, this is Savannah Guthrie with an urgent story developing right now in every state and county across America. Despite having more than enough food available in this country, there are nearly 16 million kids, that's 1 in 5 children, struggling with hunger. They often don't even know where their next meal is coming from. And the worst part is, this has been going on for years. There's no excuse for it, and that's why Feeding America is doing its best to put an end to childhood hunger. As a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America engages local communities in solving hunger by collecting surplus food, giving hope to hungry kids and their families all across our nation. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank. You can start by going to feedingamerica.org to learn more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
A radio.com station.
1 year since Hurricane Harvey. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Vice President Mike Pence is in Texas for a first-hand briefing on recovery efforts, but mindful of another storm, Hurricane Lane, a Category 4 that's bearing down on Hawaii.
We have stood up resources in Washington, D.C. as well as in Hawaii, pre-positioning assets to be prepared for when Hurricane Lane makes landfall. But we encourage people, as always, in Hawaii, listen to your local authorities.
Hurricane warnings for the Big Island of Hawaii and Maui, watches for Oahu and Kauai. A day after a missing college student was found dead, the man accused of killing her is due in court at this hour in Iowa. Fox's Jeff Manasso following this live.
Lisa, 24-year-old Mexican national Christian Rivera, he is being arraigned in Poweshiek County Court in the murder of 20-year-old Iowa college student Molly Tibbetts, whose body was found yesterday in a cornfield outside Brooklyn, Iowa, where Rivera apparently told investigators he took her. A criminal complaint alleges Rivera stalked Tibbetts while she was out for a run, abducted, then killed her. The family just releasing a statement thanking people around the world for love and prayers, though saying they are heartbroken. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. A sweeping crackdown on opioid sales over dark websites, leading to charges and indictments announced in Ohio by U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Today's announcements are a warning to every trafficker, every crooked doctor or pharmacist, every drug company, every chairman and foreign national and company that puts greed before the lives and health of the American people.
2 Chinese nationals are among those charged, and 2 doctors are now under civil restraining orders accused of prescribing opioids with no basis for their use. Fox News, fair and balanced.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present. When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium. When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day. When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash. I want to be a bike that races around the country. When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail. I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch. I want to be a skyscraper. I want to be When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time 103. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. The U.S. Coast Guard has referred the investigation into last month's deadly sinking of a Missouri tourist boat to federal prosecutors so they can consider a potential criminal investigation and federal prosecution. The July 19th accident at Table Rock Lake killed 17 people. A state lawmaker from St. Peters has resigned to take a post in Governor Mike Parson's administration. Representative Robert Corneo has been appointed by Governor Parson chairman of the Labor and Industrial Relations Commission. The University of Missouri has recorded its lowest total enrollment in more than a decade, but a surge of freshmen has officials encouraged that the school appears poised to move past the slump that followed race-related protests. The Columbia Daily Tribune reports this year's freshman class is up 13% from last year. This news update brought to you by RP Lumber, best service, best value. Don't forget, FM News Talk 97.1 is now available on radio.com. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
Get the lowest prices on your airline tickets? SmartFares can help you save up to 70%. Foreign or domestic travel. Call now for special unpublished rates. 888-789-5040. 888-789-5040. 888-789-5040.
I want you to consider making your lovely home great again by transforming and complementing your home decor with the finest window fashion from Proctor Drapery. Of course, Michael Proctor's a great guy with exceptional expertise, an interior designer. And what's more, he's personally available to you 7 days a week. You don't have to go shopping anywhere, and why would you? Important decisions on window treatments with Michael's expertise and talented eye can and should be made right in the comfort of your own home. You'll be excited to see your new look decor right then and there. And Michael offers all the varieties of decorative hardware, the latest and gorgeous designer fabrics, luxurious, contemporary, classic. Proctor Drapery has served St. Louis's most gracious citizen since 1974 with the highest quality and value for custom drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. Also a top-tier Hunter Douglas priority dealer and your first choice for Norman Plantation shutters. Schedule a fast, easy, and convenient appointment with Michael's mobile design unit. Visit proctordrapery.com. It's Proctor, spelled like doctor.
Protecting our families means putting sexual predators behind bars. Here's 14-year Missouri police detective Beth Neeland.
As a police detective, I've known the victims and I've seen the devastation caused by sexual assault. In Missouri, many of these cases go unsolved because of the backlog of untested rape kits. Attorney General Josh Hawley uncovered thousands of these untested rape kits. They contain the DNA evidence to bring these sexual predators to justice. Josh Hawley is fighting for our victims, and he's helping us get these violent criminals off our streets.
Protect your family and your community. Call Attorney General Josh Hawley at 573-751-3321 and urge him to keep fighting for funding and working with law enforcement to catch sexual predators. Get them off our streets and get justice for victims. Paid for by One Nation. www.onenationamerica.org.
A lot of nasal congestion, especially at night, facial pain, pressure.
Cynthia suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She was fed up.
I was in my primary care physician's office, and she was prescribing another course of antibiotics. And I think at that moment, I just thought, this is ridiculous. There has to be some other option.
She set an appointment with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office called balloon sinuplasty.
I was home within a few hours and back to work the next morning. I could breathe so much easier, especially with activity and at night, being able to sleep a lot better. My energy level was increased, being a mom and being able to be more active with my little one. At least to me, that was the most important thing.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections? Set an appointment today with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Call 314-449-8761. 449-8761. That's 449-8761.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Did you know about the payments?
Later on, I knew. Later on. But you have to understand, Ainsley, what he did, and they weren't taken out of campaign finance. That's a big thing. That's a much bigger thing. Did they come out of the campaign? They didn't come out of the campaign. They came from me, and I tweeted about it. You know, I don't know if you know, but I tweeted about the payments. But they didn't come out of campaign. In fact, my first question when I heard about it was, did they come out of the campaign? because that could be a little dicey. And they didn't come out of the campaign, and that's big. But they weren't. It's not even a campaign violation. If you look at President Obama, he had a massive campaign violation, but he had a different attorney general, and they viewed it a lot different.
And a different attorney, not Michael Cohen. That's a big, minor detail, in this whole saga. So the president's saying there today that did not come out of campaign finances. So we will see. It's all going to come out. It will. And I don't know what took place in the conversations where they were laying out for Michael Cohen all of the things he was about to get busted on. If you missed it in the first hour, we talked to Dinesh D'Souza, who has Death of a Nation out in theaters right now. You can go to, on the map real quick, I looked, St. Peter's and O'Fallon are both showing the movie right now, and I've just heard wonderful, wonderful things. My husband and I are trying. This is exactly the microcosm of my life. We were talking about going on Saturday to see a double feature of Death of a Nation and Christopher Robin.
Two complete opposites.
And we had the conversation. Which do you see first? Do you see the Winnie the Pooh movie first, and then go see Death of a Nation, or do you go just Death of a Nation and then soften it on the way out with Christopher Robin?
It would be hard to go see Death of a Nation first and not have that lingering in your mind the whole entire time you're trying to watch something else.
I'm always processing everything you see. And maybe it would lurk in, and then my recollection of Christopher Robin would also involve American history.
They'd intertwine somehow.
Yeah. So the president's saying there that it didn't involve campaign funds. That's a huge detail. This is just going to get nastier and nastier as we go along. And what we know, it's Michael Cohen is in big trouble. Michael Cohen is going to need a lot of help in the future. One of the ways we know this is because of his lawyer, Lanny Davis.
Michael Cohen has committed to telling the truth to whoever wants him to tell the truth. Beyond that, I'll have to leave that to Mr. Petrollo, his criminal defense lawyer. But could I just take one opportunity to remind everyone that Michael Cohen has suffered a tragic and difficult experience with his family. He's without resources, and we've set up a website called michaelcohentruth.com that we're hoping that he will get some help from the American people so he can continue to tell the truth.
They're laughing at
the audience is not, they don't know if you're ready to donate, Lanny, but we did check before we went to air. It's got $70,000 in it so far.
Oh my gosh. You got laughed at on NBC.
And it wasn't even planned
by a liberal audience.
Yes.
It's funny to listen to that actual real laughter because that sounds like the kind of trickle of laughter you hear in a sitcom where in front of an actual live studio audience when somebody does something funny or the joke is unfolding and you hear this genuine laughter. That was genuine laughter.
Oh, yeah. It was rising as he kept going on for the GoFundMe page.
Yeah. And I like that it was so ridiculous to these people that normally in that scenario, you'd sit there and you might go like
a snicker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's audible laughter from multiple people.
Yeah. I think he backed it up by saying, so I guess you guys don't want the truth to come out about Donald Trump. And these people are just stunned in that audience.
Yeah, let's hear more from Landon.
So to be clear, if Michael Cohen committed a federal crime at the direction of President Trump, does that mean President Trump committed a federal crime?
President Trump committed a criminal act that corrupted our democracy. That's what the campaign finance laws are about. The same way that the Russians, complicit with WikiLeaks and evidence that members of the campaign at least facilitated that conspiracy.
Oh, now we're going into that direction. I mean, this is very it's at the epicenter of all of this other storm. It's like the eye of the storm that the liberals have been creating for quite some time. They've discredited the president's character, which in a lot of ways, the president didn't have a certain element of moral character that I would champion going into the office. I don't defend that. I don't like it. really like Hillary Clinton's moral character either. So unfortunately, we had that decision to make. But the people who put President Trump into office, and I'm not talking about the Russians here, the people who put this president into office were rolling the dice on a president that they hoped would put forth conservative values, conservative attitudes towards government, smaller government, less regulation, stimulate the economy, champion American business. He's a perfect 10 when it comes to these things. More than we would ever have been able to hope. There would have been concessions made. You look at the list of people who were in the primary in 2016 for the GOP. I could look at each one of those candidates and say, I don't know if that would go so well, or that person is probably not going to have it as buttoned up as they need to be, or this person's too buttoned up. They're all establishmenty, and I don't want to deal with that either. I mean, it's not like there was a perfect candidate in that primary that existed and they got overlooked. But President Trump was the guy who was able to beat Hillary Clinton. And that is not acceptable to the left in the United States. And they're going to work overtime to undo it. It's not new information. And, buckle up. It's going to get bumpy. And what I would encourage you to do, I've gotten some messages from people on our Facebook page. Make sure you go like the Facebook page at facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. And this one guy said that today he received a call from his brother, and it said basically like, well, now how do you feel? It was like a see? It's not helpful. And I would encourage you not to do that from your side. When Donald Trump does something great, I mean, this is a two-way street. That's why we need discourse. That's why we need to be able to disagree. We need to be able to look at these things with a little bit more calm and fact, and a little less pitchforks, because we see it from the other side all the time, but we need to not be part of the problem ourselves. A lot of facts will come out of this, and in my opinion, I would love to see, if it were Annie's world and y'all were just living in it, I would say I'd love to see the president exonerated. I don't know if he's not charged with anything. He's not going to be indicted. He could be impeached. I would love to see him be cleared of these things. And I would love to just sit quietly and smile in 2020, in November, when he wins re-election. That's what I want to see. And I don't need to wag my finger in anybody's face in order to make myself feel better about that moment. That moment doesn't taste better, it doesn't smell better, it doesn't feel better when I'm making someone else feel crappy because I feel good. In this day and age, we're more invested in the destruction of other people than we are in our own happiness. We take so much pleasure as a culture, maybe not you, maybe not me, we take pleasure as a culture in watching the destruction. We can't turn our eyes away from the train wreck. And so far, this president has done so much good in the name of conservatism. And don't tell me that I'm just starting to say this now, because I've said this many times before. The reason why President Trump is so loved by so many is because he's doing good policy. He's administrating the office of the president the way the people who elected him wanted him to. And that will live on whether he does another term and he's got 6 more years in office, or if all of a sudden the Republicans decide to join an impeachment trial and give Maxine Waters her birthday wish and kick her out of office. The conservatism is still good. The policy is still good. Big government is still bad. Socialism is still bad. All those things are true. They were true yesterday. They were true last week. They were true last year. They've been true since when was the last time we saw socialism working well? Yeah, it's always been true. So when we're looking at the news of yesterday, does it feel good? No. It didn't feel good for me. Had that kind of icky bummer feeling throughout the course of the day. I was actually refereeing volleyball last night, and I had my phone. I'm a YouTube TV user, which I highly recommend. And I had it on my phone at the table. This is highly unprofessional as a volleyball official. But I was just waiting. I would just peek over to timeout or whatever just to see if the news headline was like big news. And last night there wasn't anything, but there was just a lot of coverage. And it's just going to be a wild ride through the rest of this Trump presidency, whether it lasts one more day or 6 more years. And the highs are pretty high and the lows tend to be pretty low. Let's stay in the middle. Let's not get too high when it gets too high. Let's not get too low when it gets too low, because the thing that we are loving right now is that conservative policies are at work, they're in play, and they are succeeding. And that exists well beyond President Trump, and it's existed well before President Trump. Conservatism is the good thing here, and President Trump was able to give America the opportunity to not be under Hillary Clinton. And that's a fantastic thing. And I'm still celebrating that today. And I'm waiting to see more information about the Trump-Cohen connection and the payments, just to see what the facts are. And when we get the facts, if they're hard to swallow, we'll take the truth. Truth is truth. You don't get to choose your truth. It is what it is. You take it like a man. Yeah, feminists, I said it. And you move on. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't need to freak out. I'll take a quick phone call here. Let's go to Chris. Chris, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, it's okay. Great day. Great day to be alive.
You know, there were so many other good candidates for when you were talking about choosing somebody.
Yeah.
If somebody, this is just a judgment thing. I mean, if you would, you know, everybody who voted in the primary knew what they were getting with Trump, and that there was going to be the fact he wouldn't release his tax returns and stuff was kind of a red flag. I mean, you got what you voted for, you know? I mean, so
I didn't vote for Trump in the primary.
I agree. I'm an independent, but I agree with like 70% of the conservative agenda, but I'm not a Trump fan, and you guys are just, and then when I see things like, you know, like this stuff with the EPA where, you know, with chlorpyrifos, where they, you know, if his agenda is something like, let's, you know, reverse a ruling that the government's own scientists said were a chemical that was going to cause neurological issues with children, even in trace amounts. But
Chris, I got to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
If you agree with 70% of the conservative agenda, what from the conservative agenda do you agree with?
Immigration, being tough on China, enforcing the borders, renegotiating trade agreements, stuff like that.
Is it Trump's methodology that you don't like? Because the things that you just listed, Trump supports, and he's actually championing a lot of those things. But maybe it's just the method that you're not satisfied with.
I just don't. I don't trust him because I don't think he has any integrity. I think he's what he's always been about, which is Trump. I mean, it's all over his buildings. Trump, Trump, Trump.
It's the name of his company.
You know, the other thing is I don't understand the thing about that alienates me from the conservative movement is just like the groupthink of, well, we don't believe in climate change. It's like, okay. Or, you know, this thing with the EPA where, you know, you as a mother, I don't know if you realize it or not, but there's a pesticide they spray on all of our foods that the EPA decided was bad and they were going to stop them using it. But when Trump's EPA administrator Pruitt came in, he was like, oh, we're going to reverse that because, you know, maybe because Dow Chemical contributed a lot to the campaign. But
do you think that the Trump campaign would allow, if something was truly poisoning my children, since we brought them into this, do you think that Mike Pence and Donald Trump are willing to poison children for votes?
Apparently they are, because the federal government, the federal judge stepped in and said, no, you can't do that. I mean, the EPA's, the government's own scientists said, this is a chemical that was developed by the Nazis to cause neurological damage.
But Chris, when you say the government's own scientist, being a government scientist doesn't make me be like, well, whatever they say, I'm down with.
Well, you can read the research. It's written by scientists for the EPA, for our government.
Well, I'm going to be very open and honest with you. I've seen those headlines. I've saturated myself in some other headlines recently, so I'm not going to argue on your specific points there, but I'm not going to just, openly agree with you or disagree with you on the details.
Let's suppose they're not sure about the research. Wouldn't you want to just step back? I mean, considering the research said all children, even if exposed to a small amount of it, a minute amount, could have neurological damage.
But this is, Chris, this is what I'm saying. Chris, just a second, Chris, and I'm going to let you go after this just because I'm 3 minutes past going to a break, and I want to get to some of these other calls as soon as we come back. But government scientists aren't not a blanket statement that the people who are helping weigh in on these decisions are only interested in the best interest of individuals, of American citizens. There are a lot of things that go into play. There are a lot of companies. Of course, there are campaign donations, and then there are also companies that get kickbacks from the EPA, from the government for functioning in a specific place. So there's a lot of information there that I don't know, and you don't know, and they probably don't know, that leads to decisions like this. Like I said, I don't know the specific details here, so I'm not going to just spout a party line at you and disagree with you on that. I appreciate you calling, but I think President Trump, I think you probably agree with more than you don't agree, and maybe some of the key issues you depart from him. But as far as this Cohen stuff goes, I'm a wait-and-see girl.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Chris, thanks for calling the show. I appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break, and as soon as we come back, we'll get to more phone calls. We have one line open right now, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797, 866-455-9797 if you'd like to join the show. We'd love to have you on at Andy Frey Show on Twitter. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Andy Frey Show.
Stay in touch and up to date with the 97.1 newsletter, delivered straight to your inbox. Become a 97.1 Insider, and you can receive our weekly newsletter, local and national breaking news alerts, plus exclusive offers from 97.1 advertisers. Don't miss out. Sign up now at 971talk.com.
Summer means savage savings at Tactical in St. Peter's. Right now, get a free Ballistic Advantage barrel with any complete AR-15 upper build. Or get a free Hollow Sun optic with any complete AR upper and lower build. Tactical in St. Peter's.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is the place to go when you're looking for a flooring solution for your home. Maybe it's your office, whatever it might be. If you're looking for tile, laminate, vinyl, carpet, hardwood, and on and on and on, Michael's Flooring Outlet has it all for you. They encourage you to go check out the big box stores, check out other stores, and come back, and they will take your bid, the competitor's bid, and they'll beat it. You can't beat that. michaelsflooringoutlet.com is the place you go online. They have 4 fantastic locations: St. Charles County, West County, North County, right there on Lindbergh and Florissant, and also Darien Prairie. And when you go in there, you're going to be able to sample some of the things that the products that they have. You can walk on them, which is great. You can feel the difference between this pad and that pad underneath the carpet, so you can know what you're investing your money in. And the folks at Michael's Carpet are so knowledgeable when it comes to flooring. They can help you save money in specific places, but also tell you where maybe you want to invest a little bit more money to make sure that the flooring that you're putting in your home, you are taking care of properly, and you know how it works. There's a lot that goes into flooring, and Michael's Flooring Outlet has the answers to all of your questions. Don't hesitate to check them out at any of their locations or also online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Are you a baby boomer with questions or concerns regarding your retirement plan? How about the future of U.S. tax rates and trends? Does your investment portfolio fully support your income needs? Heisey Advisory Group can help you answer these questions. Register for one of our no-cost retirement classes on Thursday, August 23rd or Tuesday, August 28th from 6 p.m. to 8:30. We will be covering 3 essentials: income planning, investment planning, and tax-efficient strategies. So call now to register at 314-909-1116. If you're 100% sure you have your retirement plan in place and can live well, this course is not for you. But if you've even had the slightest doubt regarding your retirement, call now. Seating is limited. Call and register at 314-909-1116. That's 314-909-1116.
We know school started or is just around the corner. And as a parent, you may already have noticed that may not be the right place for your child. We understand changing schools at this point can sound daunting, but Christian Academy of Greater St. Louis is here for you. The friendly environment is what every parent wants for their child. The academics are phenomenal, not to mention the special attention each student gets from their teachers, and our students will gladly tell you.
Hi, I'm a senior at CA,
Last year, our basketball team won the conference and state championship. At CA, they give you plenty of opportunities to become a great leader. The teachers really care, and I can't wait to see you at my school.
Accredited, affordable, private education. Call 314-429-7070 to schedule your tour today, or go online at cagsl.org. Mention this ad to have a registration fee waived. Call today, 314-429-7070, or go online at cagsl.org. Christian Academy of Greater St. Louis. We go beyond.
I weighed 329 pounds. I was a heart attack waiting to happen. I got Andro 400. It makes me not so hungry. I started noticing more energy. I noticed my belly was starting to shrink up. I started seeing weight come off, 80-some pounds. I went from 330 to 245. For a 56-year-old guy to lose that much weight, it took something, brother. I feel great. I feel like I was when I was 35 years old.
That was Ruben. Now listen to what Josh says about Andro 400.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that stuff really works. It was insane. I've heard the commercials, for a decade. I was like, I'm just going to try it. My pants are like falling off. It really works. I bought suits last year for my new job, and they're falling off of me. It's insane.
Guys, if you want to lose belly fat, gain energy, strength, and muscle, and look and feel years younger, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435. Andro400.com.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Thursday, we're still asking the same question. Did Michael Cohen ever use Russian salad dressing? Plus Trish Regan and Chris Wallace.
On FM News Talk 97.1. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
It is true. People want communities. The issue is, though, people are too close to the fire. You know, whether you're the never Trumper and the always Trumper can be interchangeable because they're just too close to the fire. The only thing, and we're talking about Andrew Breitbart, the only way out of that is humor. Is we talked about, you and I talked about this a while ago, my podcast, that no matter how Breitbart would feel about Trump, he would find it hilarious.
No question.
And I feel that way about my mother too. My mom probably would have started off with the debates and she would go, she'd probably call me up because she died 4 years ago. She'd be like, I can't believe what this guy is saying. Did you? And then every day it would become, did you hear what he said? And she'd be chuckling. And that's how I think he worked on a lot of people. It was just entertaining and it was funny if you didn't take it seriously. And I think that's the key. People are taking this too seriously. And when you talked about your community, that prevents you from taking it too seriously because you have a community that offers you more.
People, Greg Gutfeld talking about the communities that you're involved in. And the preface to that with Ben Shapiro was the community of the left. Politics is the community of the left. If you are somebody who's invested in strong, heavy, progressive politics, generally speaking, the things that you're investing your time in are surrounded with these types of politics. It's where you find your community. And I do think it is important to, especially with the news of yesterday and the sensationalism behind it, it's unfortunate because this is a really big story. The president potentially being involved in this is a big story. But that's not why people are freaking out about it. Everybody is shaking their fists and saying, go get him, because they've been doing that since 2016. I heard on Mark Cox's show today, he had Keith Antone on, and he goes, I don't even care about Russia collusion anymore. How is that possible? How can you go yesterday at this time being like, this president stole this election from Hillary Clinton by colluding with the Russians and blah, blah, blah. And I don't even care about that anymore because he said all he wanted is an impeachment. That's all he cares about. And that is the definition of ends justify the means. They've been running a race so fast and so furious, but they didn't know where the quote unquote finish line was. And so they found one and they crossed it and they're cheering, but they don't even know what race they're running. So let's be the rational folks here, and let's understand the magnitude of what is at stake, and let's wait and see what happens. President Trump spoke with Fox today.
Did you know about the payments?
Later on, I knew. Later on. But you have to understand, Ainsley, what he did, and they weren't taken out of campaign finance. That's a big thing. That's a much bigger thing. Did they come out of the campaign? They didn't come out of the campaign. They came from me, and I tweeted about it. You know, I don't know if you know, but I tweeted about the payments. But they didn't come out of campaign. In fact, my first question when I heard about it was, did they come out of the campaign? Because that could be a little dicey. And they didn't come out of the campaign, and that's big. But they weren't. It's not even a campaign violation. If you look at President Obama, he had a massive campaign violation, but he had a different attorney general, and they viewed it a lot different.
So that was Trump's response today, definitively saying this money was not out of campaign money. So yesterday we have Cohen in his guilty plea saying that you have Trump directing him to do it. And so everyone's like, oh, see, we knew this the whole time. We knew already that he had slept with these women and paid them off. So really the only detail here is President Trump's involvement and direction to pay. And now we find out today from President Trump that money wasn't campaign money. We have people in the open speaking truths. The Cohen guilty plea was in court. Trump's was with a Fox reporter. But I mean, this is information that will, if anything is going to happen, if we're going to find ourselves in an impeachment trial, this stuff will come out. And the camp, if he didn't pay it, as far as I understand, if he did not pay this money out of campaign finances, I think it's a non-issue. Isn't that how you've understood the experts as they've been talking about this already?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and also
if he paid it himself,
if he would have directly been like,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Here's your treasure chest of gold doubloons, go away, then it would have been fine.
Yep.
So it's interesting to me that is a technicality, is it not? Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a method. It's not if he paid the money, it's how he paid the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that doesn't make that if he did it wrong, that doesn't. I'm not saying it's not wrong. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get called on doing something that was, that it was wrong and saying it's okay.
Difference between wrong and illegal, though.
Yes, but it's also even if we find out that it was very illegal, and he didn't think it was ever going to come out in the open, so maybe he knew and he said do it anyway. Even if we find that out, him paying that woman off is not the same threat to the United States of America as working with Vladimir Putin to steal an election from the rightful owner of Hillary Clinton. One of them is another character flaw that we've uncovered in Donald Trump, who most people, I think the vast majority already knew existed. And the other is a threat to our democracy. And so you have big differences here in what the left has been pushing and pushing and pushing for quite some time. Is she talking about this right now? Should we
can about
No,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can.
Yep.
Go ahead.
A number of times just because you continue to ask the same questions over and over. I'm not going to give you a different answer. Yeah. The president has done nothing wrong. There are no charges against him. There is no collusion. That's what I can tell you about this. If you want something further, I would refer you to the president's outside counsel.
Does the White House maintain
sorry, I called on Francesca. I'll
Does
come
the White
back to
House
you,
maintain
Julie.
the president did not have affairs with Karen McDougal or Stephanie Clifford?
We've addressed this a number of times. Francesca, go ahead.
Thanks, Sarah. Two questions. First, you said that there have been no discussions about potential pardon for Paul Manafort. So you're not ruling it out entirely. I mean, if there's no discussions about it, right, at this point, the president hasn't said he won't do it. It's possible that there could be a pardon for him in the future. Is that correct?
The only comment that the president has made on this...
He also has not said he's going to give Tony Colombo $1 million, so it's possible that he still will.
There have been no other discussions.
That was before Paul Manafort was convicted on 8 of the 18 counts at the time when the president was asked that. So I'm asking now, now that he's been convicted on those counts.
And I'm answering you now that there have been no discussions at the White House on that matter.
Okay, on a different point. Last time that we were in here, you read off some ex-officials and one current official who the president was considering taking away their security clearance. I wanted to follow up on that and ask you, first of all, who was conducting that review to determine whether or not those security clearances...
Okay, I don't care about security clearance. How you?
We don't care. We'll move around. We moved on for that.
You know, it's like the lefties have like a fishbowl of what are we going to talk about today? They pull out security clearances. I have a question. Collusion. Michael Cohen. Porn stars. It's a very eclectic fishbowl.
Flip test. If the press briefings were that contentious against the Obama administration, can you imagine the reaction? Like,
no.
How much it's every day.
Oh, yeah.
They hate her. They hate Sarah Sanders. They hate the president.
Yeah.
They hate the White House. And that question, you could ask that about anything. So there's been no discussions about paying Annie Frey $1 billion. That means it's possible.
Let's talk about that.
Annie Frey is going to get $1 billion, correct?
Correct.
I guess it's correct.
I got a Facebook message right now. The chain of messages, the first one says, just checking on you. I heard a loud pop and thought you might have pulled your head out of your ass. And then the other one says, this just sent the clip you're playing of Trump today. Trump talking to Fox today. It's very easy to hear that he's lying. How do you stick up for this sack of crap? It's very easy, Michael Cohen
expert, I
is
guess.
I haven't looked at what his profession is, so maybe he is. I don't know. But Michael Cohen is a sleazebag who's lied through his teeth over and over and over again, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit if he were putting something out there in that is a version of the truth, alternative facts, if you will,
if you
to
must
use a Trump vocab word. But if Cohen is saying something, there's probably enough truth to it to throw it out there. But I think if you actually maybe ironed out the details, it wouldn't be as salacious as first intended, or at least as some of these lefties hope. Or maybe it will. Again, we'll wait and see. More phone calls as soon as we come back. Plus, is Tim Jones up next? Is that happening now? I don't want to not promote Tim Jones. Tim Jones is coming up next to talk about this as well. A lawyer will get his legal opinion on this. Stay tuned. A lot more Annie Frey Show coming your way.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies, light winds, lower humidity, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear and cool, 70s for evening plans, 58 for the overnight low. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny and nice. Temperatures again near 80 degrees. Looking for showers and thunderstorms developing Thursday night and into Friday. We got a hot weekend coming up. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air conditioner maintenance or tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your AC running efficiently, prevent repairs, and extend its life. Schedule your AC tune-up and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
One of the things that I love about Kennelwood is like how full service they actually are. They offer so many different services that you might need for your pet, and they have 8 locations. So they're conveniently located for you, and they are going to be able to provide you all the services that you're going to need for your pet. I've used their boarding. I've used their training. When we went a couple weekends ago to take a nice little visit to the Aries Winery in Grafton, my husband called them at like 10:30 in the morning and said, "Hey, we're going on a trip this weekend, just planned it right away. Can we put Rosie in with you?" And they said, yep, and they accommodated her, and it's just a fantastic facility. I feel so good when Rosie is there, and she's well taken care of, and they love my pet like they love their own pets. Their professionally trained staff provides 24-hour care 365 days a year. And this new Maryville location where my Rosie goes offers on-site boarding, grooming, training, and day camp. Highly recommended. I've used it myself and had fantastic results. You can contact them at 314-429-2100, 314-429-2100, or online at kennelwood.com.
You've got lots of engines in your life. Cars, yard equipment, ATVs, motorcycles, watercraft, you name it. And they all use fuel and oil. These same fluids that make your engine run also create deposits that reduce performance and gas mileage. Gum Out Multi-System Tune-Up removes these gummy carbon deposits and stabilizes fuel and oil, helping restore performance and fuel economy. Get a can today at just $6.47 at your local Walmart. Gum Out. Science in, performance out.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Law Office of Lance Drury here in St. Louis. I'm sure you've seen or heard ads where people owed the IRS thousands of dollars and their tax bills were miraculously reduced to nothing. I'm here to tell you the same companies that run those ads are the ones that routinely force clients to call me when they don't resolve their IRS problems and stop returning calls. Look, the IRS doesn't make it easy to resolve a case. So don't waste precious time and money. Contact me, Lance Drury, today. I'm a local tax attorney and I've helped hundreds resolve their IRS problems quickly and cost efficiently. Schedule a free confidential appointment and let's take control of your situation and protect your legal rights. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an experienced tax attorney. You need me, Lance Drury. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can't provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Take us with you and never miss the news and opinion from 97.1. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere. The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1. This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Get high and watch the tube. And here's what happened when they decided to cut loose. They headed down to old El Paso. I swear they ran.
He has little reason to lie. Remember that. So if he is correct, that would also mean the president has been lying to all of you again and again about criminal conduct. And now we know why Trump would have been lying. If he weren't in office right now, he might be standing right next to Cohen in that court. Trump refers to people like Cohen as a rat, but that only shows you what he thinks of telling the truth under oath, not the reality of Cohen's statements under law. Truth is a virtue.
Tim Jones joins us now. I wanted you to come on the show so I could break it to you that Chris Cuomo is not that big of a fan of this president, and he thinks he's got the arrow that's going to strike the target of getting this impeachment going. Tim Jones Show on 97.1, Sunday night, 7 to 9. Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thanks, Annie. Well, as you know, we really shouldn't listen to the Cuomos about anything because that whole family apparently hates America.
I had to Google CNN Cuomo to make sure I knew which one was on CNN.
Yes,
it's Chris.
Annie, the Cuomos, I lived in New York for almost 10 years. I went to Fordham University up there at St. John's for law school, worked for a couple of years. And so, yeah, the Cuomos were a household name up there. And I can tell you they've been ruining New York for as long as anyone can remember. And apparently now they want to bring their own brand of graft and corruption to the rest of the country because one of them, the one who doesn't think America was ever great, wants to apparently run for president. He may have ended that run before it started last week.
So yesterday when all this news is coming down, it was quite a rough day for the Trump administration. Just on the surface, what's your initial reaction to all the news we got yesterday?
Yeah, Annie, so it was a remarkable day. And one of the stories, as you know, was also very tragic, and it's kind of sad that we're talking about the professional sporting world of the lamestream media. Of course, only wants to talk about Michael Cohen and Manafort, but we also had that massive, horrific tragedy out in Iowa, where yet another illegal alien, someone who should not have been in this country, murdered a young lady. Very huge echoes of the Kate Steinle case. This individual has apparently already confessed to the crime, and maybe he'll see justice, whereas that other person who should not have been in the country did not. So, the media is more than happy, Annie, to not focus on things that, are truly affecting Americans every day because they want to deal with the professional sport of delegitimizing the Trump presidency. And, Annie, as I tweeted out earlier, knowing that I was going to come on your show, I said, what does Manafort, Cohen, and Stormy Daniels have to do with the fake made-up crime of Russian collusion?
Mm-hmm.
Well, absolutely nothing. But the glee that the left-wing liberals and their media allies, the enemies of the people, as Donald Trump properly calls them, the glee they have about all these things have everything to do with what you were talking about earlier with Dinesh D'Souza. I know Tony Colombo chimed in on this topic as well. Delegitimizing a proper constitutional election and delegitimizing a proper constitutional presidency. That's what they've been doing since November of 2016. Every day they wake up, and as Tony said, they get out their little talking points, their little deck of cards, and they say, okay, today we're going to talk about Donald Trump the racist. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Donald Trump the xenophobe. The next day we're going to talk about Donald Trump and how what something he's going to do today is going to ruin the economy. Well, everything Donald Trump touches as far as the economy, he's King Midas. Everything turns to gold. And he's the Teflon Don as far as everything else because nothing is stuck to him. Annie, and I heard that clip you just played about Donald Trump would be standing before a judge like Cohen or Manafort if he wasn't president right now. And I completely disagree with that because what we're talking about as far as what Cohen, one of the aspects of the Cohen matter, it was a campaign violation. Well, I can tell you that campaign violations, typically the campaign authority, in this case it'd be the FEC, what they first do is they give you an opportunity to make good on your mistake. They, say, hey, there's been a violation. Would you like to correct it? And they let you correct it. If you don't correct it, then they issue you a fine. And if it keeps going down the road, maybe sometime way down the future, if you lie about it, well, then they're going to get you on an actual crime, like perjury or something like that. So, if Donald Trump had ever been approached about this personally, and it had ever been, there's not been any charges brought against the president. There's not been any allegations. There's not been any violations of the campaign. This is all the kangaroo court, banana republic of the media being judge, jury, and executioner in a country now where we now have to try every single person in the media every day, and there's no more such thing as innocent until proven guilty.
What is your realistic, you're a lawyer, you've been in politics for quite some time and very successful at it. What is your realistic prediction of what happens next?
Well, Annie, as one of my Democratic friends reminded me this morning, and I do have a couple of them, and a couple of them are pretty smart. They said,
"You're probably good for each other."
I made that comment about Manafort, Cohen, and Stormy Daniels having nothing to do with Russian collusion. They reminded me that Ken Starr was originally assigned a special prosecutor to investigate a real estate deal. And where did that go? That ended up with a blue dress and impeachment of a president relating to lying under oath. So I think there's some lessons in history that Donald Trump can either be doomed to repeat or he can avoid them and be absolutely fine. So if the first mistake was, and I'll go to Jeff Sessions on this, I've been extremely disappointed in Attorney General Jeff Sessions.
Biggest mistake of the administration.
He's either MIA or he's doing things against the president's interest, right? He's either doing one or the other seemingly every day. Either you can't find him or he's doing things that are playing right into the hands of the deep state. I mean, that deep state, that swamp, which we now know is a very, very real thing, composed of never-Trumpers on the Republican side and Trump haters on the left side. Every day they work through the Department of Justice to try to dig up something. So this is a massive witch hunt that's almost 2 years old. When you let a witch hunt go on unchecked with no restrictions forever until the end of time, you're going to find something. So the first mistake I think Trump probably should have vetted these people a little better. Mm-hmm. I would never have hired Cohen or Manafort to do anything for me. So that was a mistake. The second mistake was having an attorney general appoint a special prosecutor. What was the one? Obama had plenty of scandals. Google Obama and scandals, and you'll come up with many lists from reputable news services that detail all the Obama scandals. You talked about one of them earlier, Loretta Lynch investigating conservative groups, Benghazi. We could go on and on and on. The one thing Obama did was to never permit a special counsel to be appointed during his 8 years as president. So that was the second mistake. The third mistake, which I hope he does not make, would be to submit to any sort of testimony under oath. Because we know how, I'm a big defender of the president because, as you said earlier, I love his policies. And I know a lot of Republicans who don't like the president, but when I start talking policy, they're like, well, it's the best economy ever. Everybody's working. Wages are rising. Mm-hmm. We got that report last month. Happy days are here again. I don't like the way he tweets or things he says, but I really can't argue with what he's doing to make America great again. That's not a cliche any longer. It's happening. So do not testify under oath because we know this president likes to chat. He likes to kibitz. He likes to talk. And if you talk to somebody long enough and they're not disciplined in talking to skillful prosecutors, they're going to say one thing different than another. And that's your perjury. It's misspeaking or saying something two different ways, and you don't even have any intent whatsoever. So I would not do that. Now, I think my speculation is that despite all of this, Mueller has nothing on Trump, and the Democrats have nothing to run on for this fall other than Mueller investigating Trump. So they're going to just drag this out into the election season as long as they can and let the specter of something that could possibly have maybe been done be the thing that they run on to try to elect Democrats because they have no other reason to be elected for the American people. There's no other position statement or platform that an American should be willing to vote for a Democrat for. They have nothing for the economy, nothing for wages, nothing for jobs, other than to go full out Ocasio-Cortez socialist democracy.
Tim, I got about 20 seconds here. Likelihood that this president is impeached over this?
I think I've made this prediction many times. Despite everything we've seen, I see nothing to suggest that this president will ever be impeached or will ever be indicted at this point in time with what we know now.
The Tim Jones Show, Sundays from 7 to 9 p.m. at Speaker Tim Jones on Twitter. He's real feisty there, so go follow him and just watch him work. We appreciate you, Tim. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Annie. Great show. Talk to you again soon.
Yep, bye-bye. Interesting stuff there. It's interesting to talk to people who are in the law world and in the political world. Follow us on Twitter at Annie Frey Show, and the live webcam available at 971talk.com/Annie. If you'd like to watch the show as you listen to the show, we'd love to have you there. And also Facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. We'll be right back with a conversation with Illinois policy. Looking forward to that. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I swear they ran into a great big hassle. Billy Joe shot a man while robbing his castle. Bobby Sue took the money and run.
Hey, you know why thousands of homeowners have had their homes coated with Rhino Shield permanent ceramic coating? To eliminate the hassle and expense of painting year after year after year. With Rhino Shield's 25-year warranty, you coat your home once and you're done, guaranteed. And guys, not only can you scratch painting your home every few years off your honey-do list, Rhino Shield comes in your favorite color, the color that makes your wife happy. Rhino Shield is perfect for wood, brick, stucco, hardy board, steel, and vinyl. And unlike vinyl, Rhino Shield resists mold and mildew. So why wait? Call now for your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Rhino Shield permanent ceramic coating for your home or business. 877-25-RHINO.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield permanent ceramic coating. It's more affordable than you think. Call 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
At SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, our patients and families often talk about the Glennon Factor, what Glennon gives to our patients. Glennon gives hope for a new day, healing in time of illness, faith to the brokenhearted, compassion for the injured. Our caregivers take that extra step, revealing God's healing presence to all they serve. Join us in providing hope and healing for our patients. Give to Glennon at glennon.org.
If you have retirement questions, you can bet Marvin Mitchell probably has the answer. Join him every Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 1 for Rethinking Retirement. With his years of experience, Marvin can help take the guesswork out of your retirement planning. Rethinking Retirement is your source for all things retirement, from how current events could affect your savings to strategies to maximize your retirement income and everything in between. Don't miss Rethinking Retirement with Marvin Mitchell every Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 1.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1.
A radio.com station.
An accused killer makes his first court appearance. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The farmhand charged in the death of Iowa College student Molly Tibbetts has just been arraigned. Fox's Jeff Manasso following this live.
Lisa, 24-year-old Mexican national Christian Rivera wearing a black and white jail suit, his hands and feet shackled in Poweshiek County Court, charged in the murder of 20-year-old Molly Tibbetts as the judge doubled down on his bond.
Bond in the amount of $5 million, cash only, in the name of the defendant only, and only after approval for pretrial release by the Department of Corrections.
The judge also denying a defense motion for a private hearing and to keep cameras out of the courtroom. Rivera, he's expected back in court next Friday. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. A day after his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations, admitting hush money payments to two women and claiming it was at the president's direction, President Trump still denies knowing about the payments at the time.
They didn't come out of campaign. In fact, my first question when I heard about it was, did they come out of the campaign? Because that could be a little dicey. And they didn't come out of the campaign, and that's big.
The president speaking with Fox's Ainsley Earhart in an exclusive interview that airs tomorrow morning on Fox and Friends. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders moments ago.
What I can tell you is what the president has stated a number of times. He did nothing wrong. There are no charges against him. Just because Michael Cohen has made a deal doesn't mean anything with regards to the president.
She says the White House remains focused on the same top priorities since Inauguration Day, including the economy and border security. Right now, they're also emphasizing storm prep for Hawaii as Hurricane Lane, a Category 4 storm, heads toward the islands. Forecasters say it could weaken, but still have winds up to 110 miles per hour when the center is west of the Big Island early Friday. Fair and balanced.
Wildfires burn millions of acres each year. And each year, wildland firefighters like Fire Chief James Hall battle to contain them. But they can't do it alone.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. It can ignite and destroy your home, your community, or more. That single ember can be just as dangerous as the wildfire itself. But you can do something firefighters can't. You can act now to prepare your home and your community for wildfire. You can reduce the risk. Do your part. Go to fireadapted.org.
Get fire adapted. Learn what you can do now to reduce wildfire damage later at fireadapted.org. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Learn more at fireadapted.org.
97.1 News Time, 2:03. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. Victims of clergy sexual abuse are calling for a wide-scale Missouri investigation of possible sex crimes by Catholic priests and whether the church participated in a cover-up. Victims and their supporters are calling for a grand jury investigation similar to the one in Pennsylvania that uncovered more than 1,000 cases of abuse. A Missouri doctor has pleaded guilty in federal court for prescribing fentanyl and other opioids to women with whom he had personal relationships who had no medical need for the drugs. 62-year-old Philip Dean of Warrenton pleaded guilty today to charges including illegally distributing opiate medications. Court records show the Republican candidate for Missouri Auditor, Sandra McDowell, had a Kansas address in 2013, raising new eligibility questions. Records show McDowell was living in Mission, Kansas, when she was sued by a furniture company. The state constitution says an auditor must have been a resident for 10 years at the time of election. This news update brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best in fences, decks, patios, and sunrooms.
Learn how to roll over your IRA to a gold or silver-backed IRA. Call now for your free rollover guide. 800-817-2974. 800-817-2974. 800-817-2974.
Hey folks, Annie Frey here to tell you about my friends at Convergent Wealth Management. I recently sat down with the partners, John and Jeannie, and learned a lot about choices when it comes to investing and planning for retirement. This group is client-focused. They are fiduciaries. They chose to be held to a higher standard and put their clients' needs first, suggesting the best options for you as an investor. As a registered investment advisory firm, they are fully licensed and offer financial strategies tailored to you. No cookie-cutter approach. Let professional experience care for your hard-earned savings. Do you own a small business, need to set up a retirement plan, or tax support from a CPA? Let an investment firm that can optimize your tax situation help you. Are you near age 65 and have questions about Medicare, wonder how to optimize Social Security, or understand the new tax law? Come explore your options to optimize and protect your wealth. Mention Annie Frey for a free initial meeting. Call and get a team of professionals behind you. ConvergentWM.com. That's ConvergentWM.com. Convergent Wealth Management. Wealth for the way.
From early mornings to late nights, your neighbors are busy creating a better tomorrow. And at Ameren, Illinois, we are accelerating progress. From new natural gas lines in Godfrey to smart technology in Collinsville. Learn more at AmerenIllinois.com/MetroEast. Ameren, Illinois. Energy at work.
Are replacement windows on your to-do list this summer? Not sure who to call? Lakeside Exteriors is offering you 18 months interest-free financing. Or get $100 off every Infinity from Marvin Fiberglass window, now through August 31st. Fiberglass windows will last you a lifetime. They are the sleek and easy-to-operate windows that you've been looking for. Call us at 636-978-5000 or visit us online at lakesideexteriors.com. And let us help you keep the cool air in this summer. Lakeside Exteriors, helping you create your dream home.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Every single day, ICE is tracking down gang members, drug dealers, predators, and killers. And we're either throwing them in jail or throwing them the hell out of our country.
President Trump speaking last night at that West Virginia rally and addressing the immigration problem that we have right now, this open border issue that we have. And it's very evident in the Molly Tibbetts case. There's some development in that today. He went to court, the person charged officially.
Christian Rivera. Yes, he has been officially arrested, officially charged with the murders. He's being held on a $5 million cash-only bond. His first court appearance came just today. The reports say he was mostly stoic and looked straight ahead in the courtroom. He wore headphones and used an interpreter when the judge spoke, only answering yes when he asked if he understood the proceeding. Later given a chance to speak, he declined.
So I've seen in the wake of the last 24 hours of news, when people are watching the news and they see people talking about the president and being very inflammatory in their language about the president, that's what's considered fair reporting on the news of the day. If you speak of Molly Tibbetts right now, you will be accused of championing Republican talking points. They just found her body yesterday, and they're trying to turn this very tragic situation into an accusation of talking points. It's just very frustrating.
If it was a police shooting, you think they would say the same thing?
I think the left would combust because they wouldn't have enough airtime or oxygen to get all the words out that they would need to get out.
This is an interesting statement by the murder suspect's lawyer. Christian is a young man who has been working a number of years for a respectable business in this community. No criminal record. We urge the court to be fair. Preliminary hearing is set for August 31st. That'll be the next time that he's in court.
All right. Well, we'll keep following that and see if anything comes of that. But there's a charge, so there will definitely be. Hopefully, they get through it quickly. Shifting gears.
$5 million cash only bond also means that they aren't messing around.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, he confessed. So I want to get to my guest here with the Illinois Policy Institute, Miley Smith. Miley, thanks for coming on today. It's good to talk to you.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm holding this Chicago Tribune article right now that talks about a Rauner veto, and it's kind of an interesting story. Tell us about what he decided to veto, even in the midst of this veto-proof bipartisan majority.
Sure. Well, there was a pair of bills, and what those bills did was classify, or I should say reclassify, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, as public employees. So prior to this bill, you could have a municipality here who contracted out their services for paramedics. Well, what this bill would do is draw that type of public servant under the ambit of a public employee. And what that really means then is that they would be part of those public employees that can be unionized or represented by a union here in Illinois.
So we have this budget crisis in the state of Illinois right now. There's no extra money. There's not even really the money that we're spending. We don't even have that because we're not addressing all of our unfunded obligations. How do Governor Rauner's actions with this veto affect the money that we're spending out of Springfield?
Well, every time that there is a collective bargaining agreement, we are talking about our funding, our state budget here in Illinois. And with every contract, that means an increased amount of money that the taxpayers are going to be paying. But really what this bill was about was a union tactic to potentially usurp the Janus versus AFSCME decision, which we have talked about before. Unions are afraid that by allowing workers the freedom to choose for themselves whether or not they want to be a member, that they're going to lose some of their membership. And so this bill would have added more public workers into that universe, into that, the width and depth of people that the union can unionize, to potentially offset those members they think they're going to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the president. Sorry, I've been talking about a lot about the president today. The governor has tried to work hard to maintain that he isn't an anti-union governor. He's obviously in a election year, and I think the last poll I saw had him 16 points behind J.B. Pritzker. What does this veto at this point in time do for him politically?
We are not a political organization, so I don't know that I can comment on the political ramifications, but I will say this. This bill is not an it's not a pro-union bill or an anti-union move by Rauner, because these EMTs and these emergency medical technicians, they actually have more freedom right now than a lot of public sector workers, because they can go in and they can negotiate for themselves. They have an employer. If they're not unionized in the private sector, they can negotiate with their benefits with their employer. There are public sector workers here in Illinois that cannot do that. So it's not an anti-union move to veto this bill. It's pro-taxpayer, and it's really pro-freedom for these workers.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see the governor's actions with this measure. IllinoisPolicy.org, wonderful place for people to visit and get up to date on all of the issues facing the Illinois taxpayer. And there are a few things you might want to research and brush up on, and the folks at Illinois Policy do a great job of providing that information. Miley, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. There's this other story out of Illinois. I can probably do it without the paper, but I'd rather have the paper. They came out and said, here's my stuff, that they are going to, in Missouri, how often do you have to renew your license plates? 2 years? Don't you get a 2-year sticker?
You have an option to buy the 1 year or the 2 year.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't?
The 1 year's cheaper.
Yep. But I mean, if you bought 2 1 years, would that be more expensive than buying a 2 year?
I think so, slightly. Well, I think so.
The state of Illinois.
I always do the 2 year.
The state of Illinois is going to move towards that 2 year option. And I think that's great because everybody hates going to the DMV.
Yes.
It's a big pain. And how many people are...
You guys have to do your plates every year?
Yes!
Oh, gosh.
How much does it cost you to renew your plates for 2 years?
I want to say... When's the last time you did it, Katie?
I know the last time I did it, and it was like... I got a new car a couple of months ago, a few months ago, but I can't remember.
I want to say it's around $80, but I could be wrong about that.
For 2 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
The standard license renewal sticker fee for 1 year is currently $101. And that laugh right there sums up how ridiculous the state of Illinois is. And nobody else understands. I know. Y'all want me to leave and you want me to come to Missouri, but if you have personalized plates, it's $108. So it'll probably be $400 to get a 2 year one, so you don't have to come back on a more regular basis. But it says, this is from Illinois Policy as well. It says the new law makes state government more efficient and friendlier for taxpayers. Lawmakers should continue looking for ways to reduce costs while providing better services for Illinois. So yes, for a 1 year renewal, if you just have a standard issue license plate in the state of Illinois right now, a 1 year sticker fee is $101.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. It's stupid. I mean, and for let's see, when they didn't have a budget, I guess it was maybe 2 years ago, they just quit sending out reminders because they couldn't afford to print them. They decided to save money by not reminding people anymore to renew their stickers.
And then people would have to owe that
the fine if you're late. Yeah,
that fee.
It's classic.
Crazy.
Can I tell you a funny story about my car? And by funny, I mean awful.
Yes.
Driving yesterday in my car, and I notice I'm driving, and on the dashboard, like up where I can see my odometer and stuff, I see there's like a crumb, which I have 3 kids. There could be crumbs anywhere at any time.
Right.
And I'm like, what's that doing there? So I go to reach it and I pick it up and I thought it was like a brownie crumb or like a chocolate chip. I think it was a spider. I am not a spider person.
Oh, gosh.
Dead spider? Or
I don't think so. And
you crushed it with your finger?
I can't stop thinking about that moment. I mean, it was like that big, but it was one of those like little, I think it is. I don't know. I never, like I saw it and I was like, I squeezed it when I picked it up because I was going to throw it out the window.
Oh, bugs in the car.
And I felt it and I'm like, I don't think that's a crumb. And I threw it in my car. And then I let it go and I was like, no, come back. I need you to be out of my car. Or I wanted to identify exactly what it was. And I don't know if it was or not. And I hesitate to even bring up my non-like for spiders because I really don't like them. Like I'm actually starting to like.
Really?
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
But then people get real jerky and like send me stuff on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So if,
like a daddy long leg.
If you send me something on social media now, it is the number one way, if it's a spider, for me to block you, and you will not follow me anymore. So if you want to be over with me, that's how you do it.
I was working at my buddy's farm this past weekend and saw the biggest spider,
like one that has muscles,
I've ever seen in
Really?
real life.
Wow.
and hair,
on
like
a tree.
a testosterone
That's cool.
spider.
It was incredible.
I love that stuff. My
Did you
husband
like
loves that
expect
stuff.
it? Or
I
were
was
you-
like, look at this, look at this.
Totally, me too.
I was like, he was walking up the tree, and I was like, hurry.
the farm that I know?
No.
Okay, I was going to say I don't want to know.
This is a Missouri
farm in your
farm.
It's a
backyard.
Missouri
Annie.
spider. We
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
a
those
Missouri
in Illinois.
spider.
All
in your
those,
backyard.
all the Illinois spiders have packed their bags
I
and
have
moved out too.
never seen a spider. I did take a picture of it. I won't show it to you unless you want me to.
No, I don't.
I want to see it.
But I put my hand on the tree.
To size comparison.
Yes, to give you some. And it's when you count its legs,
It's large.
it's almost as big as my hand.
No,
I love that stuff.
No.
I love bugs. I used to really hate bugs, and then I met my husband who just is fascinated by insects and bugs and reptiles and all of those things.
I have a war on bugs.
War on
You need an
bugs. That's a new
exterminator.
movie.
I freaking hate bugs in my house.
Yeah.
I get it. I get that. I don't go around
We
like
teach the kids there's a difference between an outside bug and an inside
Yes.
bug.
Yes.
If
I
they're
don't
in
go
our
around
home,
stomping on
Yeah.
every bug I can when I'm walking down the street. You know, I know that they serve a purpose, most of them. But when they're trespassing,
Exactly.
it's stand your ground.
If I'm in your house, I will do my best to avoid you. If you're in my house, you're toast.
yes.
I'm seeing right now on our Facebook that the Annie Frey Show Facebook, Jeff is saying that it's around $52 for a 2-year
Oh
license.
my gosh. Yeah, people
renewal
are
and mow.
flooding in here. 2-year license in Missouri is $49.50.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I think I paid more than that.
You got swindled.
Yep.
You know how I kill spiders in my house? If I have to do it myself? You sneak up on it with shaving cream and you build a nice mountain of whatever shaving cream is left in the jar. And then if it crawls away, you know where it goes.
Yeah.
And then when your husband gets home, you go say, so there's some shaving cream in the bathroom. He's like, oh.
I know
He
what
kills
that
a
is.
spider. He goes to Walgreens. He gets some more shaving cream.
The process, the guidelines of this is great.
Sure, you don't want to see this picture?
I don't want to know about
It's a
the crunch.
big spider.
I'm feeling things on me right now. Go to
I
break.
didn't kill it.
Gotta go to break.
Go to break.
You
Go to break.
Should have gotten a gun and shot that thing.
Roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Now the old king is dead, long live the king. 1 minute I had.
Hey guys, it's Glover. We have teamed up with Michael's Flooring Outlet to find DGS Superfan with a shout out from their favorite show. Get featured on our website and they'll receive a limited edition DGS Superfan t-shirt courtesy of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Get registered now at 971talk.com/super.
Ladies, Tony LaRussa here. Are you needing your men to step up their game? If so, there is a professional first-class medical facility in O'Fallon, Illinois. Victory Men's Health, only 15 minutes from the ballpark, will get your man off that sofa and back into your game. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Banner Construction is the place to go if you're looking at upgrading or repairing or fixing that dingy siding on your house. If it's time to be the best looking house on the block, you need to go to Banner Construction. You can call them at 314-569-1050, 314-569-1050, and they will come out and design a perfect solution for your home. Banner Construction loves a challenge. It's what they do. They will take it on, and you will be so happy with the final product. One, because it's the best product that is out there. They're the elite preferred James Hardie contractor, and they put this James Hardie fiber cement siding on your home exactly the way the maker intended it to do. And the other thing that you're going to love about them is their customer service and their quality of care when it comes to your project. Don't put it off another day. Reach out to Banner Construction and tell them that you heard about them on the Annie Frey Show. We love them here. They're a wonderful sponsor of this show, and we're just really happy to be able to bring them to you. You can call them at 314-569-1050, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day.
Summertime is the best time for adventure. Time to set the standard, blaze the trail, and go above and beyond. Because nothing beats the luxury and capability of a Land Rover, capable of taking you on a summer adventure you'll never forget. Right now at Land Rover St. Louis, save $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged V8. Your summer adventure awaits at Land Rover St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur and online at LandRoverSt.Louis.com. MSRP $90,716.
Summer means savage savings at Tactical in St. Peter's. Mention the code word SAVAGE for a super secret squirrel savings on things that we're not supposed to put on sale.
Did you tell him we have 511 and Oakley tactical gear?
I did not.
Mark Levin.
We are the center of the spectrum.
Weeknights, 9 to midnight.
We're not on any wing. We're not right wing.
Mark Levin.
We are defending the center.
On FM News Talk
97.1.
Today is gonna be the
You're
day
listening
that
to the
they're gonna
Annie
throw
Frey
it back
Show.
to you. By now, you should have somehow
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
About you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
I feel very sad about that. It doesn't involve me, but I still feel, it's a very sad thing that happens. This has nothing to do with Russian collusion. This started as Russian collusion. This has absolutely nothing to do. This is a witch hunt, and it's a disgrace. But this has nothing to do what they started out, looking for Russians involved in our campaign. There were none. I feel very badly for Paul Manafort. Again, he worked for Bob Dole. He worked for Ronald Reagan. He worked for many, many people. And this is the way it ends up. And it was not the original mission, believe me. It was something very much different. So, had nothing to do with Russian collusion. We continue the witch hunt. Thank you very much.
Get on the helicopter or whatever you're standing by. Good grief.
Get on the chopper.
It's clear that one of the key messages that is going to come out of this, the political angle of this that I assume the Trump team is going to take, is that, at least with the Manafort case, it has nothing to do with President Trump and the intention of what the Mueller probe was supposed to be trying to uncover. And it appears as though Donald Trump still is fond of Manafort. Mm-hmm. I would be shocked if we don't see a Paul Manafort pardon. But I don't know that people... I've heard someone say that like in the next year they'd expect it. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it'll be his last day in office.
Exactly. He will peace out and
that's the way they always
let
do it.
Paul Manafort.
I mean, I know he's
a little unconventional.
He's broken tradition and has been pardoning and communicating sentences during his presidency. But he'll do it at the end like they all do. They all let people out that are. There's always like, whoa, I can't believe they did that on their last day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Manafort's not. If Manafort's going to appeal, my prediction is the judge is. This may have already been even determined. Is not going to make him stay in jail during is going to release him during the appeals process. So that is going to take forever. So he'll be out
Manafort
for a long time.
Is going to get out? Because he'd been in solitary confinement.
That's my prediction is he'll be allowed out.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. And again, I don't even know if that has been determined yet. It may be old news.
What do you think they need to do with Rudy Giuliani? Because you were a big Rudy fan.
I was.
Until.
I mean, I still kind of am. I mean, as far as like entertainment, he's
funny.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't think his truth isn't always truth thing was that bad.
No, I understood what he was saying. He was making a point that it is subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he misspoke. I mean, he's right. In like legally, the truth is not always the truth. And you can give examples of how one person could look at a situation one way and another person could look at the same exact situation a different way, and both have different truths about what they're looking at.
And when you tell me that, he should testify because he's going to tell the truth and he shouldn't worry, well, that's so silly because it's somebody's version of the truth, not the truth. He didn't have a conversation
truth is
about...
truth. I don't mean to go like...
No, it isn't truth. Truth isn't truth. The President of the United States says, I didn't...
Truth isn't truth. Mr. Mayor, do you realize what...
No.
This is going to become a bad
don't do this to me.
Rudy, you're on with Chuck Todd. I mean... Prepare yourself. But
he's right. Truth isn't truth.
And the whole point of having a justice system, a court system, is that people will argue their side of a case, and there are gray areas, and it's up to, and that's why you have a jury of your peers that take the information and find out what is the proper action, course of action to take. So it's funny to hear Chuck Todd on NBC say that truth is truth when 80% of his actual the people who are paying the most attention to MSNBC are begging you to go find your own truth. Which is it? Is it objective or is it subjective? That's the point. The truth, if we actually cared about the truth when it came to things, we would know a lot more about what was going on in the campaign with the Hillary Clinton emails. We would be more forthcoming with information. We wouldn't have people saying, at this point, what difference does it make? Because you'd want to know what the truth is.
Right. And the way Chuck Todd was laughing at him like, oh, but the truth is the truth. Mr. Mayor, you're not saying that the truth isn't the truth. I'm trying to think of a good analogy, a good example.
It's just
if somebody asked me, do you work with Mark Cox? And I said, yeah, I do. He's on the same radio station I am.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could say, well, okay, if you work with him, how often do you see him at work? Almost never.
Yeah.
I hardly ever see him in a given day.
Mm-hmm.
We don't interact on a work basis almost ever. So one person could go,
then you were
the
lying.
truth is you don't work with Mark Cox because you don't ever see him. You're not part of his show. You're not ever discussing work with him. You're not ever part. So I just, by saying I work with Mark Cox, I just lied and perjured myself in the eyes of the person that looks at it the other way. And that's exactly what lawyers do. That's exactly what perjury traps are.
Yes.
They're just like that.
And when you see the agenda,
so truth isn't always truth. It wasn't that crazy. I mean, look, Rudy Giuliani has said some crazy things that he needs to be examined for. And he's been very questionable. But this one, I mean, it's like now everybody's so just studying everything he says. Like, here comes another gaffe. Where's the gaffe? Where's the gaffe?
Yeah, they know they're promoting the gaffe before it actually happens.
Yeah, exactly.
We've talked a little bit about the Molly Tibbetts story. The murderer, the person charged. What's his name? Christian
Rivera.
Elizabeth Warren was asked about Molly Tibbetts.
I'm so sorry for the family here, and I know this is hard, not only for the family, but for the people in her community, the people throughout Iowa. But one of the things we have to remember is we need an immigration system that is effective, that focuses on where real problems are. Last month, I went down to the border, and I saw where children had been taken away from their mothers. I met with those mothers who had been lied to, who didn't know where their children were, who hadn't had a chance to talk to their children. And there was no plan for how they would be reunified with their children. I think we need immigration laws that focus on people who pose a real threat.
So Elizabeth Warren, Molly Tibbetts, have you heard of her? She was found murdered in a cornfield. What do you think about that? Have you heard about the children at the border?
Right.
The illegal immigrant children at the border. Have you heard about them and the treatment?
15 seconds.
I timed it too.
It took her 15 seconds to get off of Molly Tibbetts and on to Mothers at the Border.
Yes.
Which is a very small percentage of the people at the border.
Mm-hmm. And this story is
most
breaking.
of the children are not with their parents.
This story is very important right now. Mm-hmm. And it's not a hard thing to not have a talking point and to say what's really genuinely in your heart and say that it's a disaster and that hurts and it's horrible for this family. That's not hard to say or for her to admit.
Yeah. And as somebody who has the privilege to come talk to you every day, weekday from noon to 3, I have to make a selection of what we're going to talk about on any given day. Yesterday, we didn't have a whole lot of brand new information to talk to you about, which is why I said to Tony, hey, maybe we'll get some news in the middle of the show, and that'll take us through the last hour of the show or whatever. And then everything came out at 3 p.m. Or between 3 and 4. And so yesterday was a day where there wasn't a lot of stuff on my plate that I had to choose from. I just had a pretty open, option of what we could discuss. And then you have a day like today where we haven't hardly talked about Manafort at all. And there are some GOP lawmakers who have been indicted for some fraud or something or other. And I don't have the specific details right now on that. We have, stories of the duck boat being now, yesterday you reported on that in the middle of the show. And the story there is that they're turning it over because they see some criminal activity involved in it.
That's a very interesting story.
It's an extremely interesting story. I have to choose.
How about the Catholic situation happening in the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri and the state of Kansas?
And the country.
Right.
In Pennsylvania. And
that could be as bad. That could be as big as the Philadelphia investigation.
And we'll wait and see. But here's the point that I want to make to you is that I have to choose. And I talked to Tony and Katie and Frank about the news of the day, and we try to hit as much as we can. But when it comes to today, you have two stories, two marquee stories, two, front page, number one headline stories in the Cohen guilty plea and Molly Tibbetts and the fact that an illegal immigrant has confessed to her murder. Two marquee stories. And we live in a world now where if I talk to you about Molly Tibbetts, somebody on the other side of the aisle is going to point at me and tell me that I'm not doing my job because I'm not talking about Cohen and the trouble that Trump is in. And there will be people on the right side of the aisle that will look at other news organizations and point out that none of them are even talking about Molly, and that will be a talking point. Everything is tribal. Every single corner of the news, of our daily life, of culture, of entertainment, of sports, of movies, of music, everything is getting to the point where it's tribal. And your first inclination when something like this goes down, Molly Tibbetts or Cohen, your first inclination is to try to figure out which side your team is on. And I say, forget about that. I say, look at the facts, look at the information that is in front of you, and let that determine it. I think most of America wants to be like that. But when you turn on your podcast of choice, your television channel of choice, your radio show of choice, if you just get somebody who's having a rallying cry to now, pick up your pitchforks, I think that's dangerous because you're not really talking about facts. And when we look at the facts of what we found out yesterday when it comes with the Cohen guilty plea, we don't have brand new information that this president paid off women, that he cheated on his wife with. That's not new information. We knew that before people voted for him. It's not new information that he paid him. The new information exists in Cohen's words that Trump directed him to do so. That's the new information. And all of the noise, all of the tribal warfare that is existing every single day will magnify these types of instances and make them seem insurmountable. And there may come a time where President Trump faces a challenge that he can't meet, but we haven't seen it yet. We have seen the Pitchfork Clan on the left just from day one trying to destroy this president. And I just say, let's take a deep breath. Let's wait for factual information to come out. And until then, this president has been charged with exactly nothing. And we know that there is a very active cabal out there right now working very diligently and aggressively to impeach this president. And we heard it this morning on the Mark Cox Morning Show. When Keith Antone said he didn't care, and I've never met Keith. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He seemed like a nice guy. I don't have anything against Keith. But when Mark says you don't care about Russian collusion anymore, he goes, no, I don't. He goes, I want the president to be impeached. That's a very honest statement. I appreciate his honesty because that's really what it's about.
I do know Keith, and he is a great guy, but I obviously differ with him greatly on many of the issues. My question to him then would have been, if you don't care about Russian collusion anymore,
drop it.
How about you guys start calling for the end of the Mueller probe? Mm-hmm. Because if that's what the Mueller probe's about, Russian collusion, you don't care about it anymore. Mm-hmm. Let's end it.
Yeah, and the thing that frustrates me the most about that is I would hope that every person whose ears are on this radio show right now, if they found out that the president of the United States worked with a foreign country to steal an election, I hope you'd want to know about that. But we don't know that happened. We don't have any indication, any evidence that points to that happening. And the end result of that is to get this president out of office because they don't think he should be there in the first place. And when that is the motivation behind the majority of what you see coming from the left, I just say, let's put our feet up. Let's take a deep breath. Let's enjoy this economy. Let's enjoy this 401k situation you might be enjoying, or the little extra money in your paycheck from the tax reform, or maybe the better job or the promotion or the low unemployment, whatever it might be. Enjoy it. It's here. President Trump's administration is working. And until we find out something that is hard evidence to the contrary, you know, I'm sitting in the show me state right now. Show me what you got. Some phone calls as soon as we come back. 314-241-9797.
Realize what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Partly to mostly sunny skies, light winds, lower humidity, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear and cool, 70s for evening plans, 58 for the overnight low. Thursday, partly to mostly sunny and nice. Temperatures again near 80 degrees. Looking for showers and thunderstorms developing Thursday night and into Friday. We got a hot weekend coming up. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers water heater, duct sealing, and attic insulation services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
I had great results. I lost 70 pounds. I weighed 265 and went down to 195. My doctor told me, if it works for you, then do it. A lot of people say to me, how did you lose the weight? I said, I take Andro 400 every day. I'm going to take it forever.
That was Walt talking about Andro 400. Now listen to what Bob has to say.
When you listen to your radio commercials, you say that's not possible, but since I've experienced it, your commercials aren't strong enough. I am 76, and I've had a belly for way too long. My whole body is shrinking. My energy level has gone up, and the only thing different is Andro 400. It's great stuff. I tried other products, and nothing happened.
Guys, if you'd like to lose stubborn belly fat, gain energy, and feel years younger, try Andro 400, the safe, natural, and affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435. andro400.com.
Do you have credit card debt? Golden Oak Lending has the expertise to show you how to refinance your home and turn its increased value into cash, and you pay nothing out of pocket.
People often tell me they didn't call sooner because they didn't think we could save them money. This is James Hawkins from Golden Oak Lending. My advice, just call. We're happy to give you a free mortgage checkup. With our expertise and today's increased home values, we can usually save you money.
It will cost you nothing to find out. We take all the risk because if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Stop paying double-digit credit card interest. We have so many options. Let us show you the savings.
Golden Oak's mortgage rates are in the 3s. We could save you money.
And it will cost you nothing to find out.
Call 314-567-GOLD. 567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 111 Westport Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri. Call 567-GOLD.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Brooklinen Bedding. It's brooklinen.com. So one of the things I talk about a lot with my live endorsement clients is sort of being in the bullseye, sort of being in that center area of the Venn diagram. And that's certainly the way it is with Brooklinen. They were just named the fastest growing bedding company. They have the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. They have like 15,000 5-star reviews. So they sell a lot of bedding, yet it is ran like a very small company because it is a married couple that own the company. So they're very old school in the way they treat their employees, in the way they do business. Some of the other companies they compete with mark up their bedding as much as 300%. With Brooklinen, you get the very best bedding at a fraction of the price. Get $20 off and free shipping when you use promo code Glover at brooklinen.com. That's $20 off and free shipping when you use Glover at brooklinen.com.
You've got lots of engines in your life. Cars, yard equipment, ATVs, motorcycles, watercraft, you name it. And they all use fuel and oil. These same fluids that make your engine run also create deposits that reduce performance and gas mileage. Gum Out Multi-System Tune-Up removes these gummy carbon deposits and stabilizes fuel and oil, helping restore performance and fuel economy. Get a can today at just $6.47 at your local Walmart. Gum Out. Science in, performance out.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing.
Sorry.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Dave Glover.
Rebecca, go ahead.
I am a Trump supporter. If he really is guilty, if there's a real good chance that he will be impeached, and I can't say that I'm against it.
Dave Glover. Weekdays at 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
Once there was this kid who...
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
His hair had turned from black into bright white. He said that it was from when the cars had smashed his soul hard.
What a weird song.
There was this girl who wouldn't know and change with the
girls and the
You can't even say that anymore.
Tony, you said you don't know this song, do
Girl,
you? You don't even
yeah.
know the song.
A girl changing in the girls' change room?
Right.
Ooh, why isn't it unisex? What
That's
if
a
she
good
wanted
point.
to go in the other bathroom?
That's why it's from the 90s.
When we were dumb and
Young.
closed-minded.
These artists
I've
were
been
dumb.
watching, is it National Geographic does like 80s, the greatest decade, and then 90s, the greatest whatever, and it's just a series of
Yes.
1-hour documentaries. I love watching those
I do
things.
too.
Because, you know, I was born in the early 80s, and I remember the 80s. I remember like the things about the 80s, but I didn't know like what, I wasn't aware of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So you learn in school, it's part of history, you hear that these things happen, but then when you see, and I can relate too. So I watched the one on the Challenger, and it was an hour long. It was fantastic. And it was just it was the start to finish explanation of the Challenger and McAuliffe, the teacher who went on there, and like how there's so much humanity involved in that journey because of her involvement. It wasn't people who were dedicating their lives to science, and it was just
when I was in elementary school as well. I remember teachers all across the country submitted for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
One of the teachers at our school had gotten at least past the first round of cuts.
That'll wake you up.
She was a female gym teacher at our school, and she was trying to get on the spaceship.
Well, the thing of watching the story in all the specific details, I can relate to something like that. I would say on a much bigger level, being a senior in high school when 9/11 happened. I was very aware of what was going on. A lot of my friends have signed up for the military after 9/11 happened.
Right.
And I think that it's important to watch these moments over the course of history, because at the very end of the Challenger one, you get to see Ronald Reagan sitting there and talk about, these people going to touch the face of God. Oh my gosh. The presidential caliber of the way he delivered that speech and the genuine nature of it. It was just really powerful to be able to look at that. And then, comparing it to my experience living through 9/11 in a very aware point in life where you're about as old as you can be as a child. I was 17, and about as young as you can be as an adult, and you're trying to figure out how this fits into everything. It's a National Geographic documentary series. I just highly recommend it. I think they ran them. I think they're running them in the evening, like over and over and over again. And I would add to this. This is like becoming a pet peeve of mine. This, and I tweeted about it, I don't know, last week or whatever. The term millennial isn't an insult. It is, but it doesn't need to be. Because when we talk about millennials, when we're criticizing millennials, we're criticizing a portion of a generation that isn't really meeting the basic standard expectations of independent living. And I would say that when I was 17, and then 9/11 happened, and then all of my dear friends who I've had friends go to West Point. I have friends who are in the Air Force. I have a friend who I grew up with who I don't remember the name of the plane. It's a C something, but he actually flew one of the SEAL Team 6 bodies back.
Wow.
I have a friend who served in the Army. He actually dropped out of high school and joined the Army, got his life together, went overseas at least 4 times. When he finished completed his military service, he went back on security detail. These people are millennials. So if you're standing up for the people who are fighting for your country, who have been fighting for your country since 2001, those people are millennials too. And I get it. It's fun to talk about it. I'm a millennial. Katie, you're a millennial. There are a lot of people out there right now doing really fantastic things. And when the finger wagging comes out and starts making these blanket judgments about this generation, the fact of the matter is millennials in a very large capacity are doing just fine. And I look at the baby boomer generation and I wonder if there were the greatest generation parents talking about the hippies in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
And making, I think it's a generational thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's natural. I think it's something that is to be expected. I almost think that to an extent, it's probably healthy to like have this generational difference in
like
experience.
back in my day
yes.
and things like that.
It's going to be the case. But just so I can put in a little bit of a plug here for the millennials of the world that aren't losers, we are still millennials. We're trying very hard to do the best we can with the time that we have. We're being raised in, we're the first generation that apparently isn't going to do as well as our parents. That sucks.
Yeah.
And I still think that there are a lot of good things to say about the generation. So I was just having that thought when I was talking to one of my friends who does serve in the military, and he made the comment about somebody crapped on him because he was a millennial, and here he had served at least 2 tours, and it's like, it just doesn't really stick. It doesn't really float for me. Just something to consider. I've done it before. I've made millennial jokes, and I get it, but I don't think that the generation is a waste. So
my guess is that most of the military is made up.
Yes,
of millennials. Yeah.
I mean, I'm 34 years old. I think that technically the millennial generation is supposed to start in some definitions like at 1980. So you could be almost 40 years old and considered a millennial.
Yeah, I think early 80s is, there's, generations always, there's no exact date.
Yeah. And I think for
but
a lot
you
of...
can be almost 40.
I think a lot of the
30s,
millennials that are
like
in
you.
the military right now, I mean, they love to serve our country, but they're also trying to escape a lot of the debt that comes out of college. They probably are like, this is a great alternative. We don't have to pay a lot of the debt and student loans that come out.
Well,
So-
it's good that the United States supports veterans with all sorts of different kinds of benefits. There should be more benefits, like maybe just like a general veteran care. My grandpa served in World War II. He was an Army topographer, and he was stationed in Australia. And he actually served in the same building in Australia as General MacArthur, which is pretty cool. Met my grandma in Australia. She was from Australia, brought her home. But he worked with the American Legion quite a bit, and I see a lot of people who are associated with that. There's a whole new wave of the greatest generation. I don't know if I can compare the two, but I would just say I know the rap that millennials get, but when I look at my friends who have made a pretty amazing sacrifice for their country, there's a lot of them out there. And I don't see them being recognized very much. I don't, not as a generation of people who have for decades now. 2003 was it when we officially went to war? And you had Desert Storm in the 90s. That didn't include millennials, but it's another group of people who have been fighting over the course of time to save this country. And if we had a generation that was a waste, they would be lost. I think we're doing fine. And I think we can do better by keeping those expectations high, but we're not all bad. I promise we're not all bad. Thanks for listening today. If you missed the Dinesh D'Souza interview or didn't catch the whole thing, make sure you go to the blog. You can go to 971talk.com/Annie and catch that there, and make sure you share it with your friends. And it was great to talk to him. Interesting point of view, being somebody who has gone to jail for campaign finance infractions and also received a pardon by the president. So go check out that blog. That audio is there at 971talk.com/Annie. Go like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. Dave Glover Show coming up next.
Gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Hey everybody, Smart Close for Brenton Vision.